go into it and what goes into it and what happened. And maybe one day, Shad Khan, Tom Coughlin, Dave Caldwell, maybe they talk a little bit more at length about their side of it and how this all came together and what this was like over the last month. I mean, if somebody, and we'll try, I don't know if it will happen, but if somebody can get kind of a look at what was this last month really like for that front office and maybe even for this football team, it would be pretty fascinating watch, wouldn't it?
Well, and this is my question.
Over Hard Knocks.
Yeah, and this is my question to you. You know, I mean, I read that article and everything, and yeah, they didn't, give exactly what happened, but it was a good kind of peeling back the curtain a little bit and giving you an idea of the business, regarding one of the best corners in football and trading for him. I thought it was fantastic. And I thought it was great that the front office of the Rams kind of came forward and said exactly what was up. My question to you is, and I get it, the Jaguars aren't going to do that. That's not their MO. They've already pretty much put it on Doug Marrone to handle it during the week, and then I guess they're hoping that it goes away. But my question to you is, does it go away, Brent? Like, I mean, you've been in this business for a while now, and granted, you haven't seen a situation like Jalen Ramsey, but where do we, I guess, because I'm part of the media as well, like, where does it go from here now? I mean, are there still going to be questions about Jalen, what happened, or do you kind of just get what you get and you move on and get ready for the Bengals?
Well, it's the beauty of I guess this is one of the reasons the player wins, because in my opinion, there's very little accountability if they did do something to get out of here that really shouldn't sit well or wouldn't sit well. Only thing you're going to get hurt by are the words, you know, and you got your reputation and all that stuff. But I don't think I heard the comments coming out of that locker room yesterday and even today, and I just don't think there's been that many bridges burned that probably Jalen cares about. There might be some that this doesn't sit well with from an inside the building standpoint. I think one of the reasons Marrone kept this relationship going so strong is you never know if that guy's on your football team 8 years from now, some other city. You never know.
Correct, yeah.
So I think the players are aware of that, and maybe sometime down the road we find out. But I don't think there are repercussions for Jalen. He got what he wanted. He's in L.A. He's got to put up with the fans and maybe even the media bashing him a little bit for all this. And that's kind of where I wish, I guess maybe this is a bit petty, but I still wish at one way or another that some of these guys in that locker room would have come out and said something. But I respect that they're not. And by the way, when I say something, either towards the organization for letting him go or for Jalen Ramsey because they didn't like how this went down. I wouldn't mind someone saying that and hearing that. And because I think it exists. It exists in some way, shape, or form.
It absolutely does exist, either one side or the other. There's something out there that exists.
Yeah.
But it's not getting spoken.
But it's not spoken. And I guess you should give, again, Marrone and the leadership and those players in that locker room a lot of credit because they've got a football game to win. Yeah. And this is an important game. And much like when Jalen Ramsey announced, I want to be traded, they were 0-2 and had a must-win football game against the Tennessee Titans on a short week with a rookie quarterback here in Jacksonville against Tennessee, and they took care of business. They were ready to go. And this is no different. Now, it's not a Thursday night game, but it's no different. This is a must-win game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, their season might be over, and I think it kind of is. You can't say that matter-of-factly. There's too many games to go. But I think the season is probably over for all intents and purposes if they lose this game on Sunday. So that's how big this game is, and I give them credit for staying focused on that, not getting too distracted by the Ramsey thing, just much like they did a few weeks ago against Tennessee. Now we'll see if the result is similar.
And this is where I think NFL players and kind of the modern athlete gets sold short a little bit, right? Because we always talk about the entitlement, the selfishness, but we hardly ever talk about the professionalism.
Yeah.
And let's go back to Pittsburgh real quick. You know, Antonio Brown causing the commotion there, throwing Ben Roethlisberger under the bus, calling out Smith-Schuster, who, all things considered, I guess Smith-Schuster and him were supposed to be really good friends. Yeah. And he threw Smith-Schuster underneath the bus. But you never really heard any discrepancies coming from that locker room regarding Antonio Brown, right? Like, they never personally attacked Antonio Brown, even when they had every single right to. Even when the coach was getting thrown on the bus, even when Ben Roethlisberger, the quarterback, the leader of that team, even the wide receiver was supposed to be like the next big thing, kind of like the young talent of that team, who all we know has done everything by the book. They had every right to go after Antonio Brown, and you never heard anything about it. And so far, with what we've heard, I mean, and I get it, the Marcel Darius back thing, but I mean, that's whatever. That's just poking a little fun. I don't got an issue with that at all.
He might have done that if Jalen was in the room.
Yeah,
but he probably would have.
But all things considered, I mean, I haven't heard anything. I haven't read any tweets that have, really called out Jalen, that have really, questioned his want to be in Jacksonville, questioned his, his ability to be a good teammate. I haven't seen anything like that. So, props to the Pittsburgh Steelers for how they handled it with Antonio Brown. Props to the Jacksonville Jaguars for, at least right now, from what we've seen, for how they're handling it. Because, like you said, Cincinnati is a big, big game, and maybe the season could be on the line this Sunday.
You bring up a really good point, and they don't get enough credit for that, the professionalism. Like, I've always wondered, and see what we can't do maybe in the media and as fans. And by the way, most folks that were in the media were fans of some team or still are. I'm actually probably one of the few that I really don't have a lot of fandom left outside of the Red Sox, but and really hating the Yankees. Go Houston tonight.
It kind of goes hand in hand, Brent, to be fair.
But I get the thing that I've always found amazing, and I just said it to, I think, Chris Conley the other night. We were just talking about this. I said this 24-hour rule that you guys are live by and are so accustomed to, and it's just the way your brain operates, the way that the machine works inside a locker room, whether it's college or NFL, but especially in the NFL. I can't get there. Like, how do you not talk about it on Tuesday and Wednesday? How do you not look back? And we force players to look back, because sometimes the first time we talk to them in the locker room on a Wednesday, we still might ask them about a Sunday game. Or tonight on Jaguars All Access with Calais Campbell, Miles Jack, we'll talk about the Jalen Ramsey situation, but we'll also go back and talk a little bit what went wrong in a loss to the New Orleans Saints. So I've always been amazed at their ability to kind of, even if they have to answer those questions, their mind is now all the way on the next football opponent. And there's no logic involved in that. There isn't. That game is 5 days away. I can't tell you what the heck I'm doing in 5 days. I'm more concerned about what just happened to me in the last couple of days. That's human nature. So from that standpoint, from a professional standpoint, they do that on a weekly basis. And so this stuff too, I think, gets handled. And again, you've got to go to the top. Who knows what those conversations are with Doug Marrone in these team meetings, how he's chosen to handle this, how their leadership has handled this. I don't know. We don't know. Maybe someday we find out. But it is a reflection of them, and a reflection of them saying, hey, it's all good. We're good. Yeah, Jalen's gone. We're all good. Again, that does not make sense. It does not make sense. If I'm a football player in that room, I want to win. And if I want to win, I want the best player on defense playing for me, not for the Rams. So it does not make sense. There's no logic to it, yet they've been able to handle it, compartmentalize it. I think that's pretty amazing, really, on a lot of levels. And I'm going to ask the guys tonight. I'll see if I get them. But I'm not trying to get them, but I really want to ask, how is there no emotion involved in this? These are two captains we'll have tonight, Calais Campbell, Miles Jack. There seems like there's not a lot of emotion coming out of that locker room. Are you that focused on winning and knowing that you've got to get a W that who cares what's going on? Can you really act that way? Again, there's no logic. That's not real world. That's not how the human, that's not how we work. But it's how they work, and it's hats off to them. So I think you bring up a good point about it.
Yeah, and absolutely. And
you've lived it. So.
Well, no, I have. And that's the thing, Brent. This gets ingrained in the game of football, even in high school, but especially college. And then we make it to the NFL, where play next play. Whether it's a good play that you have, a bad play, whatever it is, if you make a good play, celebrate, but you're on to the next one. If you make a bad play, forget about it. It's out of there. You play for the next one. And I think you can apply that too when even one of your best football players, if not your best football player on your team, and Jalen Ramsey, gets traded. It's just it's that play next play mentality. Just because Jalen's gone doesn't mean the show doesn't stop going. The show is still going on. You got a game Sunday. So I think it's a testament to Doug Marrone, obviously, like we've talked about, the leadership in that locker room. And let's not forget, what was the biggest story last season? It was the leadership.
It was.
It was the accountability.
It was.
It was the guys on the sidelines.
I hammered the captains last year. It was the worst set of captains ever assembled.
We all did. And listen, they're 2-4 right now. If you told me they're 2-4 when the season started, I would have said, not good. Now, a lot of things have happened, but 2-4 is not good. Let's be honest. But at least you're not worried about them faltering or it's snowballing into a bigger thing, because they seem to have the right leadership in place now.
I don't know if this is sunshine and rainbows or I've lived through so many bad years or what, but 2-4 has never felt so good. After all this stuff, losing Nick Foles, a 6th-round pick coming in, the Jalen Ramsey for the last month, you at 2-4, in a position to win a couple of games and get back in this thing, it's never felt so good. For a weird reason. I'm not thinking the season. I think they're going to beat Cincinnati.
The Bengals,
maybe. That could be it. So, hey, more on this. And we're not going to talk all about Jalen Ramsey today. We did that a lot yesterday. I want to talk about how do they replace Jalen Ramsey, get back to Minshew mania. But I got one more thought on Ramsey first. When it comes to the Rams and the Jaguars, just in general, who would you want to be going forward for the next few years? Well, you talked about who won, right? Who won the trade? Who won right now? But what about where they sit for the next few years? I thought about that a little bit more last night, and we'll get into it next on ESPN 690. Star 690 is our number if you want to jump in.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Sunny and nice today. The afternoon high in the upper 70s with very comfortable humidity. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds that guarantees you a $500 gift card if they can't beat anybody's price on a diamond.
Trust, tradition, and quality. A winning combination to feel good about your home. Sometimes it's just that time to replace your roof. Or maybe you need to fix your roof after a recent storm. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau of Action Sports Jax. And there are so many roofing companies in the area. But which one can you trust? Let me tell you about my friends at Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company. Trust a family-owned business with owners that grew up right here in Jacksonville. Talk to the owners directly. Get free estimates. And you can trust Jack C. Wilson Roofing to walk you through each step of the process. Tradition? Jack C. Wilson is a name you know. The longest-standing roofing company in Northeast Florida. They have been repairing and replacing asphalt shingle roofs since 1946. How about quality? A roof you will tell your neighbors about. Quality from start to finish, shingle by shingle. You can request a free estimate at jackcwilsonroofing.com. It's the first name in Jacksonville roofing. And make sure you let them know Brent Martineau sent you.
In an ocean of car dealers, there's only one, Atlantic Infinity. The all-new 2020 Infinities are coming in, most loaded with luxury and convenience that will delight and amaze you. With Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, delivering exceptional touchscreen command of your email, texts, music, and maps. Now at the one and only Atlantic Infinity's new showroom. Call for a test drive, 642-0200. Atlantic Infinity, 10980 Atlantic Boulevard. Follow the wave.
Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Family, food, and football. Renna's Pizza checks the box on all three. Family-owned in Jacksonville for more than 40 years. Fresh ingredients every day. And you're home for football all fall. Watch the games and dine in at Renna's 5 locations. Or let Renna's help with your football get-together. A menu to satisfy the entire family's appetite. There's a Renna's Pizza near you. Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and the newest location in Neptune Beach. Family, food, and football at Renna's Pizza.
Pop quiz. If you sell a home for $500,000, how much would a traditional real estate agent charge in commission? If you guessed $25,000 to $30,000, you're right. But if you think that's the only way, you're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners are making the switch to Rex. With Rex, you get a dedicated agent and a full-service experience at a fraction of the cost. Rex uses game-changing technology to cut out the middleman and save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in fees. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. Remember, this is your home. Why give an insane amount of equity away to an agent? Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with an experienced real estate team with you every step of the way. Get the most out of your home. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME.
Florida, CQ 1057788.
Minimum fee may apply. Not licensed in all 50 states. Visit rexhomes.com to see if Rex is available in your area. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
Golick and Wingo are coming to Jacksonville for the Florida-Georgia game.
Hey, everybody, Trey Wingo. I want to invite you to come watch us do our show live from Intuition Ale Works on Friday, November 1st. To register for your chance to win VIP passes, go to ESPN690.com.
Now, back to Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I was just excited. I had a ton of joy. I was at home, chilling, eating tacos, and I don't think I ate another taco the rest of the night. I'm here, and I'm excited to be here, make the best out of it, and I'm going to be the best teammate and player that I can be on this team for this team.
Yeah, it's hard not to be petty and be like entitled, modern, selfish athlete, Jalen freaking Ramsey.
Taco Wednesdays, by the way? Interesting. That's what he said. He's having a taco, right?
He did.
On Wednesday. Interesting.
But it is hard to get off that, be like, oh, I'm overjoyed. Screw you, Jalen.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, wow. I'm calling Jalen on that too.
Well, I think the way fans, I'm trying to say like the fans.
Okay.
I've said this before. I think there were a lot of folks in the media yesterday. I believe that were kind of like, really screw you, Jalen.
No, for
like,
sure.
Hope you never have an interception again. That's not where I sit on it. I mean, Jalen's a fantastic football player, and if you're not ready to admit that, well, then you're in for a few long years of disappointment, because there's a good chance he goes and shuts down Julio Jones on Sunday. He's good, okay? That wasn't by mistake the last few years. But I do think the fan side of people are like, really? I mean, first of all, you're Jags fans. You want people in Jags to like Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And fans turn on players in a hurry if they say anything bad about Jacksonville and the Jaguars and this organization, even though it's okay if they say things bad about the organization and when they're doing bad. But, like, the fact that, you know, if you're taking this, it's like a breakup, right, with a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is, and I'm overjoyed now that I'm not with you. Well, that never sits well.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
I mean, it doesn't sit well. So you almost have to, and I've got a lot of people today like, all right, can we stop talking about Jalen? Well, I get you, but no, not really. There are still ramifications of the Jalen trade for maybe a long time to come.
Listen,
who knows?
It's very rare that a team loses its best player like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it happened in New York last year with Odell Beckham Jr., and you saw, you know, the waves of just craziness that came from that. So I get it. We're not the New York media. We're not as big as that. But this is still a big deal.
Yeah, that's a great thought, too. I didn't really think about it from Odell Beckham Jr.'s standpoint. But this is where I want to go with it. Like, is the organization in a better place here in Jacksonville than the Rams are, even though they just got Jalen Ramsey? Like, and I wonder if people in that building in New York would say, are we in a better place, even though we might have just lost the best receiver in the game? And I understand there are ways to think about this, right? There's on the football field, and you would say, hell no. But you'd say in your building, in the locker room, moving forward, what it did to cap space, what's my draft capital now, all those things go into this. And I was thinking a lot about it last night, and it was kind of contingent on what we were talking about with Yannick Ngakoue getting paid. And there's more and more evidence to the point where I think the Jaguars should pay Yannick Ngakoue, even maybe overpay in their mind, right? Because right now they're not at the same spot, or we'd have a deal done.
Exactly.
So even if they think it's overpaying, I almost feel like the Jags should and need to do that for a couple of reasons. One, I think Yannick's proven it on the field for his rookie contract. I think he's handled this situation very well. Even if they didn't like the fact that he held out, ever since he came back, he's been professional about it, at least for everything we've seen. I think you don't want the optics of one of the best draft classes in franchise history was Ramsey, Miles Jack, Yannick Ngakoue. Well, Ramsey's gone. You extended Miles Jack, but you don't want Yannick Ngakoue gone, because he, quite frankly, could have been one of the best value picks this organization has ever had, and especially this regime. So if you add all those things up, and then I'll throw one more, and this is what I got thinking about. Who else did the Jags have to pay? They just cleared $100 million off what they would have paid Jalen Ramsey, probably around that dollar figure. Who else do they have to pay going forward? They have potential for money to come off the books. They have Calais Campbell potentially. I think A.J. Boye now stays for $13 million. This could really help him. They have Andrew Norwell. I think usually after 2 years, those things can come off the books. Marcel Darius most likely is coming off the books. The dead money of Blake Bortles coming off the books. Well, who else would you pay right now or think that's due to get paid? Yeah. And if you think about it, you're like, okay, well, maybe a mid-range kind of deal for like a D.D. Westbrook could be coming up soon. Fournette, he still has an opportunity to earn himself, I think, a good-sized contract based on what he's doing this year. We'll see how the rest of it plays out. And he still has one more year left on his rookie deal, so they don't have to do that right away.
But keep in mind, though, backs aren't really getting the upper echelon money.
They're not.
Especially with Todd Gurley now, too. I think the market's actually going to be set a little lower.
And also keep in mind that there's a fifth-year option involved because he's a first-round pick. So, again, they don't need to do it. Could they do it? I'm just trying to think of who else could they pay. Well, if you go across the offense, Cam Robinson, no. They don't need to pay him yet. Jawan Taylor's who? A.J. Cann, they just kind of gave a moderate deal to. Linder's been paid. Norwell either is paid or he's gone, depending on how you want to view that. Chris Conley, no, moderate deal. D.D. Westbrook, like I said, it might be a moderate deal. Marquise Lee, you could probably get out of that contract after 2 years. This would be the second year. Nothing at tight end other than go find one. Josh Oliver looks like he's going to play this week, but nothing to do there. And on defense, you've got Josh Allen. You've got Miles Jack locked up. Jared Wilson and Ronnie Harrison aren't due for deals. So my whole point, I just went through the roster.
Yeah.
You've already got your kicker signed. So, where are you spending money? You have a lot of money freed up. And sure, you go get free agents next year. But you have money now. Once you look into 2020, really the Jags have nobody left to pay. It was Ramsey and Jan and Miles. Well, now Miles got paid. Fair deal. Maybe overpaid the way he's playing, some would say. Ramsey, you don't have to pay. You've got your quarterbacks all set. So now you go pay Jan. So for all those reasons, you have to pay him. But I also think for all those reasons, the Jags are in a pretty good position. They've got 18 draft picks. They'll have a lot of money coming off the books. And they still have a decent amount of core young talent and potentially 2 quarterbacks on their roster that they like. The Jags are in pretty good shape going forward. Now, they're not rock stars. They're not the Patriots. But they're in pretty good shape, aren't they?
Exactly. And what you just said about who do you pay, obviously Yannick Ngakoue is number one, and everybody else is just kind of, it's let's be honest, it's kind of whatever. Jan's the big guy that stands out. And you brought it up, and obviously I'm sure he's had talks with his agent about this. It begs the question if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, because if it's me right now, Brent, I'm on the outside looking in, I'm wondering, well, then let's go ahead and let's at least get the talks back in play here. I understand it's during the season, and sometimes contract negotiations during the season, it can be, I don't want to say a distraction, but it's a lot on somebody's plate, right?
Usually this time of year you don't do it.
Exactly, but that's why you have an agent if you're Yannick Ngakoue, and that's why you have people in the front office that take care of that kind of stuff if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars. Doug Marone's not handling this contract, negotiation, so it's fine. So it begs the question, if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, are you waiting to see how this pans out? Are you holding the cards that you have right now and you're trying to see that final card turn over? Are you trying to see how many sacks Yannick Ngakoue ends with by the time the season's over? Because that can be very telling. If he has maybe under 10 sacks, well, then obviously you're probably going to shortchange him a little bit. Now, flip side of that coin, though, listen, we've seen he's coming on a little bit now. Say he has 13, 14, 15 sacks. And you don't pay him before the season's over. You wait till after the season. Well, those 15 sacks, I get it. The Jaguars can afford him, and it's all that. But he'll probably get other suitors from other places, and that begs the question, would he want to stay here?
Yeah, and listen, they have control. And when I say they need to do this, I'm not saying they need to do it tomorrow. They don't have to. My feeling on it. I've said it now for weeks and months, and especially I said it again yesterday and from the fire station on Tuesday. And I said, get back to the table and let's start talking about it again. Okay, let's end the standoff. Let's try to start meeting in the middle on whatever it is and make nice and say, hey, you've been handling this well. We want to at least fire up these things, these talks, and let's start looking down the road a little bit and see where we can get. You have the pay on right behind me, right over my shoulder on your thought bubble here, on your cardboard cutout. You have for a while.
A part of that's because I don't have a black dry erase marker anymore, but another part of that is because I support it still.
Yeah, and so, again, I don't think you necessarily have to pay him today or tomorrow. My point is you better pay him soon. I think from an optics standpoint, it's really important to do that for your organization, and you have the wherewithal to do it. A lot of people criticize the Brandon Linder signing. To a degree, I think it's fair to criticize the Brandon Linder signing. In fact, I was the guy that said, go get Alex Mack. Now, they tried to get Alex Mack, had the signed offer sheet. Cleveland matched it, but he came free again the next year, and they were like, nah, we're not going to do that. He went to Atlanta instead. Well, he still had a good couple of years. They end up getting Linder, good draft pick in the 3rd round. He's played well when healthy, or he's good enough when healthy, and I feel like he's playing pretty good right now. Actually, I don't hear his name mentioned hardly at all.
He's playing good.
But they gave him like $51 million.
He was the highest paid center, correct?
What are we doing here, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's what you're doing there. You had the money to spend. A few years ago, the Jags had all this money. And sooner or later, with league rules, you had to spend some of it. It's the same thing like you gave Alan Hearns 4 years, $40 million. Okay, well, probably shouldn't have got that. But it didn't hamper you for years to come. The Linder signing, I don't believe, is hampering them. It might be an optic thing that helped Telvin Smith and Jalen Ramsey not like the front office, but I'm telling you it's not hampering the organization because they signed that. The Blake Bortles stuff, Yeah, that dead money probably did hurt them to some degree this year, maybe going to get an upgrade at linebacker or a wide receiver or wherever you wanted to add it in free agency. It kind of hampered them a little bit. But the point is, you look back on the Linder deal, and I'm not like, oh, this organization is screwed because of the Linder deal. Did they overpay him? Yeah, they did. So that's why I look at the Yannick thing. Even if they don't value him as a $20 million a year guy, it's not going to hurt you right now. You're in a position where now you have this money freed up and a lot of money coming up that's going to be free. And you've got a guy that does the right thing, and he's still a young talent, and he's got a lot of sacks on his resume. And that's why I think you have to get that stuff done. I mean, you have to build around those guys. You have to keep those guys. And even if it costs you a few more dollars, a few more million, or a couple more million than you want to pay a year, you do it.
Let me go and ask you this real quick. From training camp, when the trade negotiations started to take form here and everything for Yannick Ngakoue, from training camp with those negotiations until now, with what you've seen, has Yannick Ngakoue's value gone down? Has it gone up? Or has it stayed the same?
Yeah, very good call. Let's answer it on the other side. Take a break. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. We'll throw that one out there. And I do want one more overall. I want to get your thoughts on, are the Jaguars in better if you're a Rams fan or a Jags fan, do you feel good looking down that window 3 years from now with the Jags situation? Money freed up, all these draft picks, the quarterback situation in pretty good shape, or at least you feel like it is.
Yeah.
Or the Rams situation, we're in win-now mode. I love win-now mode. We're going for it. We got a lot of big stars. We're not really sure about our quarterback, and we have no draft picks for like the next 4 years.
Yeah.
They're two unique situations, different situations. And I wonder which one's better. And I'm not sure the right answer. I guess we'll find out over the next few years. But I like your thought. Yannick Ngakoue, has he earned more, or is his value going down? Next on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. Looks like Jalen Ramsey has had a miraculous back recovery. In his first meeting with the press in L.A., he expressed his thoughts on his new defense.
I like the defense. I like the philosophy. I think I'll fit in well. I'm going to bring a lot of passion, energy, and heart to the team and to the game.
Meanwhile, Jacksonville linebacker Myles Jack, who wasn't down, by the way, had this message.
Yeah, I wish him nothing but the best, but I didn't want to see him go.
Tonight, the ALCS continues from Yankee Stadium with the Astros up 2-1 in the series to find out who will take on the Washington Nationals in the World Series. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. Best kept secret of tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
So your team scores. Suddenly you're best friends with perfect strangers. Tullamore Dew calls these friendships fanships. When the game is on, order a Tullamore Dew, the original triple-blended, smooth-sipping Irish whiskey for the person next to you. This game day, grab a Tully and strike up a fanship at...
Find Tullamore Dew in Jacksonville at Culhane Southside, Culhane's Atlantic Beach, and Lynch's.
When it's game time, it's Tully time. Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof, 2019, imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc.
Locally owned and operated businesses give our community character by offering unique options for shopping and dining.
They are a big part of what makes living in the 904 so great.
Shop the 904.
Powered by Cox Media Group.
Hey everybody, Trey Wingo here from Golic and Wingo. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jackson. It's clear Northeast Florida has great taste in radio. I mean, you're listening to me every morning, right? Join the ESPN 690 team and get your business notice today. The First Coast is making the switch to ESPN 690, and there's no better time to get your business in front of them. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
Want to hear something crazy? Last month, our friends at Arlington Toyota offered prices up to 50% less on remaining 2019 Toyotas. Want to hear something really crazy? Arlington is extending the sale. The 2020 Super Sales Event has been extended at Arlington Toyota. So come in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019 Toyotas. That's up to 50% less on remaining pre-owned 2019s. Looking at a 2019 Toyota CHR, it's not $22,660. Now it's only $17,988. That's $17,988 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota CHR at Arlington Toyota. How about a Toyota Tacoma? It's not $29,635. No way. It's just $23,888. $23,888 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Tacoma at Arlington Toyota. Plus, you get Arlington's $5,000 Advantage Club and even a national lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles for new purchases. Shop Arlington Toyota today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/super savings for offer details.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
How have binoculars and just the general discomfort that comes with using binoculars, how have we not improved that?
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stuttgarts on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Yeah, I know Dante, of course. I know Aaron Donald is on this defense, the best player in the NFL. Eric Weddle back there. I got to get to know the guys a little bit more, of course. Just not getting here, but I like the defense. I like the philosophy. I think I'll fit in well. I'm gonna bring a lot of, passion, energy, and heart to the team and to the game. So I'm excited to get out there whenever that may be and do my thing and see how I mesh well with the guys.
Hey, once in a while, we should get a segment sponsored by like Dell or Apple.
Or
And
Windows 95.
People got to stop sending me emails.
whatever that was. AOL Messenger.
That's Jalen Ramsey, by the way, last night at a press conference in LA. You know what's interesting? For some reason, I guess I get Twitter notifications on the Rams before this. And so I always it'll come up like even Denver's like that. I don't understand why. I must follow something on NFL. That's why. So when they're on Twitter, kind of like we do our show, it'll pop up.
Okay.
And so I always know when Denver's live at a presser.
Do you follow the team?
I don't think so, but I think it might be a Periscope thing.
Gotcha.
And so the Rams pop up. And so when they do, but it's always like 7 or 8 o'clock. And I was like, man, that's a weird time to do media availability. Oh, yeah, it's like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, there's a few hours behind us.
Mine's weird because it always tells me when you're doing stuff. And it's like, well, yeah, no, I know.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Hopefully it tells everybody out there when we're doing stuff. That's the idea. All right, you asked a question. Brent Martineau. Former Jags player Austin Lane, Action Sports Jax Stuart Weber, just in from the locker room. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Coos, of course, getting a lot of emails apparently here on a Thursday. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. We will talk about in a few minutes, and it says less to do with Jalen, although it's connected to Jalen, and that is how will these guys do in the secondary? That's now that Jalen's gone, but I mean now it's reality. Trey Herndon, who for some reason didn't want to talk today.
Didn't want to talk.
Guess he didn't want the attention. But
I'm told he's shy.
Is he?
That's what I've been told.
Come on, man. It's your time to shine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to talk some football?
You're a cornerback.
It's going to be hard for me
You're
to do
an island.
It's going to be hard for me to do a countdown to kickoff pregame story without some sound from Trey Herndon.
Yes, it is.
That's really what I was thinking. No knock on Trey. If you don't want to talk, that's fine. But I need a story.
Yeah, we
need something.
That would have been the questions. Talking about football.
I guess we can just go on Twitter and see some of the tweets that he puts out, and we can analyze those if you want, Brent. If you need some content.
But we'll talk about the bottom line is he has to help replace something in that secondary.
Next man up.
Replaces Ramsey, all that. But now it's a thing. And what does happen if somebody goes down, and how thin do they get, even though they did sign a corner today? So we'll talk about that, and we also go to the wall that says it all, and we talk about Gardner Minshew. And by the way, Minshew talk is coming up. That's what everybody says. Can you stop talking about Ramsey and talk more about Minshew? Don't worry, Minshew Mania is back.
Covered.
And it's an important week for him. And so we will talk about Gardner Minshew in a moment. But you brought up a good question. Because we were talking about the ramifications of not paying Ramsey, well, Yannick Ngakoue, and they don't have to pay a lot of other folks right now and looking forward in the next couple of years, do they pay Yannick Ngakoue? And I said, I think they need to find a way to do it, even if they, in their mind, feel like they're overpaying. Who cares? But you spun it around to, so far this year in 2019, by rolling the dice to some capacity and playing on a rookie deal, is he helped his value or has he hurt his value? Really good question. How do you feel?
I think right now it's probably a push because here's why I say that. He's got 2 sacks. We're 6 games into the season right now with 2 sacks, 10 tackles, which I'll be honest, as a pass rusher, doesn't really mean a lot to me, and 1 forced fumble. I'm not sure where he stands on the pressures. That's something that the team looks at a lot as well. But from the sacks perspective, he's got 2. So,
and keep in mind, he did play 1 less game.
Well, and then this is where I was getting at. I don't think, I get it. When you're in the NFL and you're going through the regular season, you're never going to be 100%. All right, you're going to have something that's ailing you regardless of what it is. But the fact that, before this season, Yannick Ngakoue hadn't missed a game, it kind of shows you that hamstring that he suffered, I think he missed Houston, right? He missed the Houston game?
Game.
Yeah, so when he missed that Houston game, it had to be bothering him a little bit. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure what extent that hamstring injury is, but I know if you really miss a game due to a hamstring, it's probably pretty serious. And the fact that you came back the next week, that's fantastic and everything, but it hasn't healed. The hamstrings they can be a lingering injury. Same thing with a calf. I think we saw that with Leonard Fournette a little bit. Those injuries can be lingering. So the fact that
that's Josh Oliver.
Yes, exactly.
Who participated full today, by the way.
Nice.
Good sign.
So the fact that we have Yannick Ngakoue, playing on kind of a bum hamstring, still producing, I think he's gotten stouter in the run game as well, Brent. I think right now it's a push. Well, I think once those sack numbers go up a little bit, because that's what the teams look at the most. I think once the sack numbers go up even more, then it's where you say he raises value a little bit.
Interesting. Hang on tight for Stuart for a moment. We got a call on this topic, and Ryan joins us right now on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. All right, Ryan, what do you think, man? What are your thoughts on it?
Thanks for having me on again. I think his value right now is staying the same. I mean, the guy's playing injured, and if you don't have him, it's much easier to game plan for Josh Allen. So I think the sacks will come on later in the season, and the pressure's still there. Still one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, and eventually, like I said, the sacks will come.
All right, man. Thanks. Appreciate you listening to the show. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Anybody welcome to call in. ** 690 is the number. All right, Weber, what do you think?
I'm putting a big old TBD on this thing.
My God, will you guys get off the fence?
How am I on the fence? I said it stayed the same.
That's kind of on the fence, isn't it? If it got better or worse.
I'm telling how is that on the fence? I presented an argument and what do you want me to do?
I think through 6 games it's gotten worse, but I think through 16 games it'll get better. It's my thought process because of the aforementioned injury he's been working through. And a lot of it has to do with us looking at it from the outside perspective. We can't judge him the way the team can judge him. And I know we have to because that's our job and that's what we're doing right now.
We have to guess.
We have to guess.
Make stuff up.
We have to guess. And maybe that's why we hedge things a little bit sometimes. So I personally think that over the course of 16 games, he will prove to be worthy of what he thinks he's worthy of.
I think I have no idea what you just said, but I do think
politician talk.
Yes, that was very, very nice. I think, first of all, I saw a stat yesterday, and again, I'm stealing off Twitter here, so how reliable the stat is, I don't know. But I think I saw in the top 10 players in the NFL, Josh Allen's name was number 4 or 5 of players that have been double teamed through 6 games.
Okay.
I didn't even know they kept those kind of stats, but I saw that somewhere, and I don't know if that how accurate that was. But anyway, my point is Josh Allen's getting a lot of attention.
Interesting.
He was off to a great start in the preseason. He does have 4 sacks, so that has little to do with this argument right now. I'm just saying I saw that, and I found it interesting. Here's the deal. I'm not on the fence. I actually do think his value has gone up. And in the last segment, I kind of brought up some of the reason. I brought up some of the reason where in the eyes of the organization, and this is where I think the fans kind of have they don't have a say, but I feel like the pulse. What was one of the first reactions when Ramsey was gone? Pay Jan. Now pay Jan. Pay Jan. That's what we saw. Yeah, it's not everybody, but it is certainly people that are talking like that. And I think they want to keep this guy. They have a guy. Look at that resume. Pass rusher, premier position. You've got a guy you drafted, you've developed, he's done well for you. So, like I said in the last segment, I think there's pressure on the organization to keep that guy now that Ramsey is gone. From an optics standpoint, from an everything standpoint, I think there's pressure to do it. I also think if you look at his resume, and the guy's 24 years old, he'll turn 25 in March, and he's top 3 already in franchise history in sacks, right? Is he top 3? I think he's 3rd in sacks in franchise history. I got to double check.
I'd have to look, yeah. My seat's the one without a computer.
But him and Calais are like up there already in career sacks for the Jacksonville Jaguars organization. And this guy's 24. Like, it almost doesn't matter what he does this year. It doesn't. You've seen the proof is in the pudding. He's already put it out there. There's evidence that he's a very good pass rusher. Now you have other people on that defensive front for a long time. You keep this tandem together. He's third, right? You keep this tandem together. You just have to do it. So in that sense, I feel like his value, even though he might only have 2 sacks in 5 games and he played through the hamstring, that hasn't hurt him. Mm-hmm. And I do think if you project it out, listen, Jan's going to end up with, at the very minimum, I would say a 10-sack season, 9-sack season, somewhere like that. And while it might not be the 15, I feel like what you just said, the pressures, some of the couple plays he had against the run in Carolina were fantastic.
Yeah.
Some of this play that, we've talked about him chasing down a play with the hamstring when he came back the week after Houston. Those are things that they see on tape. They know what he's doing. And whether they feel like he's Khalil Mack or not isn't important in this conversation. The fact that they need to keep him, he's done everything the right way ever since holding out and playing on this $2 million contract. Those things are all important. And I'll give you one more thing, which probably is less important from a fan standpoint, but more important from a business standpoint, is the salary cap's going to keep going up, which means average prices go up. So in terms of his value, just sitting still, his value goes up. It's like the minimum wage is going up in the NFL.
That's why you always overpay on everybody.
So that's why they overpay. So, I think all that together, even though he only is sitting on 2 sacks right now through 5 played games and 6 games in the Jags season, I think his value actually has gone up because he's proven a lot on the intangibles. He's already got the resume that says I'm the top 3 guy in franchise history, and he's 24 freaking years old as a pass rusher.
And to help prove your point a little bit, too, what was his biggest question mark last season? His ability in the run game. Was he too small? Can he take on that tackle? Well, I'll be honest. I've been watching a lot of the Jacksonville Jaguars defensive line this year, and I haven't seen a play yet where Yannick Ngakoue has messed up on the defensive line and stopping the run.
Oh, there you go. So more to come on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. What happened in the locker room today? Any more buzz about Jalen Ramsey? Stuart Weber was there. We'll talk about it next.
Golick and Wingo are coming to Jacksonville for the Florida-Georgia game.
Hey, everybody. Trey Wingo. I want to invite you to come watch us do our show live from Intuition Ale Works on Friday, November 1st.
What better way could you spend your Friday morning? Take your time. We'll wait. Well, looks like we'll be seeing you at Intuition Ale Works. Everyone's invited, but only a few are going to get the VIP treatment.
To register for your chance to win VIP passes, go to ESPN690.com.
Ace is celebrating their 95th birthday with sale prices for you. Ace pleated air filters, assorted sizes, buy 2, get 1 free. Birdseed, just $9.99 per bag for 40 pounds of wild bird food. Or 20 pounds of black oil sunflower seed. Fortify your turf from the cold with Fertilome Winterizer. Now $17.99 per bag. Shop the 95th anniversary sale-abration at your neighborhood Ace. For additional sale items, visit jacksace.com. Get it delivered by shopping at acehardware.com.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Are you looking for the best wings around? I found the place. Listen up. Hey, everyone. It's Brent Martineau. Mr. Chubby's Wings is awesome. 2 locations, the West Side and in Fleming Island. They are a part of the community, too. Mr. Chubby's Wings wants to wish all of the high school teams good luck this fall. They've been supporting youth athletics for a decade. Get ready for the game at Mr. Chubby's. Celebrate the big win at Mr. Chubby's. Chub it up with the best wings around. Mr. Chubby's Wings on the West Side and in Fleming Island. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Family, food, and football. Renna's Pizza checks the box on all 3. Family-owned in Jacksonville for more than 40 years. Fresh ingredients every day. And you're home for football all fall. Watch the games and dine in at Renna's 5 locations. Or let Renna's help with your football get-together. A menu to satisfy the entire family's appetite. There's a Renna's Pizza near you. Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and the newest location in Neptune Beach. Family, food, and football at Renna's Pizza.
Hey, boss. How's it going?
Don't even talk to me.
Uh-oh. Sounds like you're having a moment.
It's not a moment. It's just been one of those days.
Boss, what happened?
So I'm driving around doing errands and stuff. I counted 14 safe touch security signs while I was out. 14!
Well, I guess word's out that Safe Touch is the best.
I mean, there's Safe Touch signs in yards, Safe Touch stickers on drive-through windows, Safe Touch on billboards, Safe Touch on the radio. I'm about to lose my mind.
Boss, it's okay. There's still plenty of houses out there without Safe Touch.
Yeah, but the more people hear about the two-way communicator, the guaranteed response time, the crash and smash.
What do kids say these days? Safe Touch is going viral. Kind of funny when you think about it.
Oh, I hate Safe Touch.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today.
You're pregnant. How far? 1 month, 2. No doctor yet. I can't afford it. Protect yourself and your baby. The health department can help you out. Test for STDs. I don't have diseases.
Everybody, welcome back to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
STDs make you and your baby sick. I don't want my baby sick. No one cares more about your baby than you.
Everybody, welcome back to Action
Sports Department.
A message from the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
There is one name synonymous with joint replacement excellence, and that name is Heekin of the Heekin Clinic. For 18 years, Dr. R. David Heekin and his staff have been the leader for treatment of hip and knee pain. Eliminating hip and knee pain through advanced surgical and non-surgical techniques has been Dr. Heekin's sole goal since retiring from the Army in 2001. If you're looking to ease your hip and knee pain, schedule an appointment today and call 328-5979 or visit HeekinClinic.com. That's HeekinClinic.com.
Golick and Wingo.
I think my jersey was one of the top-selling jerseys around the world, and I didn't make $1 from it, but nor did I want to.
I respect Tim Tebow. I respect his opinion. I love his passion. I just could not disagree with it more.
Golick and Wingo. Weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Now, back to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and on your smart speaker.
Even when he was there, it really wasn't hanging over. Everybody still was playing. Despite of what he was dealing with, he came out, he still supported everyone. Even on the sideline, you can tell. He's coaching up the DBs, the younger guys like Trey, telling them what to look for the moves, because I was right down the sideline with him. But, at the end of the day, it is a business. That's how it is. But the top, to me, one of the top defensive players in the game, let him go. That's tough.
There we go. I like that a little bit more. First time we've heard that.
Yeah.
One of the top defensive players in the game, let him go. See, and that's not necessarily like screw you organization, but it's reality. Mm-hmm. That's what I've been begging for the last couple of days because it's not real to not think that.
Yeah.
They are thinking that. And a guy like Leonard Fournette, who's buddies with Jalen Ramsey and who's had his own issues with the organization at times, I think that's very fair from him. That's not going overboard. That's a good response. That's how he feels. And I think it was good.
Yeah,
it was measured, but that's fine. But he still got the point across.
It was measured. It was, and I was there for it. It was measured. It was emotional. You could tell that this hit him because, like you said, his friendship and his relationship with Jalen Ramsey. But he was able to articulate very well what he meant not only to Leonard himself, but the team, and how that's yes, it's easy to just say, okay, let's move on, let's go on to the next thing, but that's tough. They're human beings in there, Football players are people too, and they got to deal with the emotions of it. And Leonard has never been one to shy away from emotions, and he'll let you know how he's feeling.
And this is my point the last couple of days on this. This is what's tough about it, Stuart, is the fact that you have to be at least a little miffed at one or the other.
Yeah.
You have to be a little pissed off at Jalen for the way he handled this, and he quit on you, and he said he wanted to trade, even though you're 0-2, and it's a back injury, but really is a debilitating back injury that he can't play. You either have to be mad at that, or you understand that, and you're mad at the organization for not handling things prior to this whole situation, or for trading him and losing your best player when you're now 2-4 and your season's on the line, and you're trying to make a move and you want to win football games. So that's been my point. Like, it's one or the other. You don't just sit in the middle on this. So I appreciate that Leonard Fournette said something. And again, it wasn't like, now he did the middle finger at the Rams yesterday on their post because it was all in fun.
Yeah,
but
joking.
Yes. I was kidding, guys.
Okay.
Settle down. Stop taking it so serious.
Blood and everything.
But he didn't do the middle finger at the organization. I thought he handled that really well, although I understand his point. I'm happy to hear that. That's what they can say that. They have the right to say that in this situation. And I hadn't heard any of that really yesterday. So I think kudos to Leonard Fournette for saying how he feels and putting it in that perspective, even though I bet there are half the players in the locker room that think the other way. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and that's kind of the thing, Brent, and like I talked about yesterday a little bit. If a player was to come out and say, yeah, the management, the front office, they shouldn't have traded him. They should have kept him. Or if a player was to come out and say, good riddance, I'm glad he's gone. Doesn't help you beat Cincinnati.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't help you try to, go from 2-4 to winning a division. Doesn't help you at all. So, in my opinion, as being a former player, if it doesn't help the team, if it doesn't help you beat Cincinnati, then what's the point of putting the energy out there? Now, I understand it's different nowadays. Everyone wants to be heard. Everyone wants to say what's on their mind. But you got to draw the line somewhere. I think the players in that locker room understand that. No sense in bringing an unwanted distraction.
It's better to talk it out, Weber.
Yeah, and here's the thing with Leonard.
Let your feelings out.
Yeah. Leonard's Thursday guy. That's the one day a week he speaks.
Yeah.
So, we're not talking to him on Wednesday or Monday. It's Thursday.
Yeah.
So this is the one time that we get to talk to him. So you address it and you move on.
Yeah.
And you were saying it earlier in the show. I was listening while I was driving back from the bank, and yes, there's a 24-hour rule, but if you only talk one time to us during the week, then we need to ask you that during that time.
Yeah. Fair questions.
Yeah, fair questions.
And I thought he answered it well.
And that's the thing too, is that he controlled the situation well. And once we got into the interview, talked some football, and then he brought up the conversation. He's the one who opened it up and was able to kind of get into it and allow himself to be heard the way he wanted to be heard. And I felt like that was perfectly good.
Well said. Good job down there today in the Jags locker room. By the way, they have taken that banner down.
Oh, yeah.
The Dream Finders banner that he was on. So that was they had to get city approval, I think, for it pass inspection before you can even start taking it down and all this stuff. It's like, what the heck is going on here? Can we just rip that thing down?
No, they had a dude hanging on that thing, and, cutting little things and doing this stuff.
Here's the real question. Can we get Cox Media to sponsor one of me and you now to hang up?
Oh. No.
I just thought I'd ask, man.
But
simple question.
There are GoFundMes.
There are GoFundMes.
we got foam footballs and keychains. We're there.
There are GoFundMes. That's a good point.
I wonder if they would take our money. Probably not.
No. I feel like we're competition.
I think so.
I feel like there's a reason why I can't do my post-game breakdowns in the stadium anymore.
I think
I have to do it in a parking lot with Saints fans ripping me the whole time.
Beautiful.
Hey, I want to get to high school football in a moment, but somebody keeps saying, no, he hurt his value. Has he hurt his value? The Yannick discussion?
Sure.
Said Josh Allen's hurt his value. Stop with that, people. Josh Allen has not hurt any value of Yannick Ngakoue, because if you think you can get by with one pass rusher for the next 4 years in Jacksonville, well, then you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
That's not how the game works.
Not even close.
Stop with the Josh Allen stuff. Josh Allen has not. Yes, do they have a safety blanket and at least they have one that they like? Yes, but that has zero to do with Yannick Ngakoue in terms of how much money he's worth and if they should or should not get the deal done. You want more of them. You think Denver Broncos are happy now that Bradley Chubb is hurt and they just have Von Miller? No, they had the best tandem. So stop with the Josh Allen stuff. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I got that off my chest.
Yeah, that was good. Very important. I just wanted to pop in a little bit with some high school football because 9 games on the schedule here tonight, all in Duval County. Not 100% sure why they're doing it the night before.
Word is there might be a teacher's day or a day off tomorrow.
I figured it was something like that. But there are some games with some very relevant games. Yulee's going to Rains. That's probably going to decide the district title. If Rains wins, I'm pretty sure they win the district title, which means they're automatically in the playoffs, and, that's kind of a big deal. Lee at Trinity Christian.
Would they host that? They'd host a playoff game.
Yes. Yeah. If they win the district title, you get to host a playoff game. Lee at Trinity Christian. How about Trinity Christian now? They are on the bubble when it comes to making the postseason because of this RPI system. Because they're 3-5.
Yeah.
Now, those 5 all against really good teams. And they've got Lee and Rains as their last 2 games of the year.
Wow.
So Trinity Christian at 3-5 is just above Wolfson, who's 5-2 for the 6th and 7th spots in 3A in Region 1. Top 6 make it.
Wow.
So Wolfson.
And think about that. With all due respect to Wolfson, they've done a great job.
Well, that's the thing. It brings
Trinity
up,
Christian would beat them by
probably
3 touchdowns.
It'd be a running clock at halftime. But the point is that it brings about these 2 different ways to set up your schedule. really hard and rely on their being really good and no matter what your record is, getting you in on RPI, or you play a lot of teams that are at your level or maybe a little bit below, and you go get a good record and get a lot of wins, and you work your way in that way. An interesting kind of back and forth on that. So we're going to be all over the area tonight. Some good stuff happening.
We have the Chopper up tonight.
Yeah, Chopper's going up tonight.
Sky Action News Jags hitting like 5 games.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
What do we think? Yeah,
news is always news.
Yes, well, there is news. There's too many shootings in Jacksonville again today, by the way.
And so, we'll be all over the place. Some other big games. White at West Side's going to be a big one. West Side can move a step closer to a district title. They're 6-1. So awesome for Coach DuBose. If they beat White and then Parker either next week or the one after, they will win that district title. So pretty cool stuff. We got a bunch of games tonight. Excited to get out there, run around, and rock and roll.
Yeah, Weber does a good job of that. I wish I could help, but I got the Zach Brown Band concert tonight, and I'm not shooting high school football, even though I really should help. I know, but I'm not.
It's Zach Brown Band. I mean, can't pass that up, Brent.
By the way, West Nassau, Baker County tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that, man. 2 great high school football towns and 2 good football teams.
Yeah.
So that will be our game of the week on ESPN 690 tomorrow. More on the Jags. How about we go Minshew Mania? Let's talk about it.
Let's get it.
Next on ESPN 690.
Pros know there's a lot more to a tile job than tile. But here's something even pros don't know. The Home Depot's just lowered prices on tile essentials. Everything from James Hardy backer board as low as $8.98 each to 50-pound bags of VersaBond mortar starting at only $11.68. And know this, we won't be beaten on flooring prices, guaranteed. New lower prices on tile essentials for the pro, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Prices valid in select markets only.
At the 1955 Rose Bowl, Goodyear began providing stunning aerial coverage of college football, forever changing the way the game is experienced. In recognition of its significant contribution, the Goodyear blimp is being inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame as an honorary member. It's the first non-player or coach to ever be inducted. Goodyear is celebrating this honor by reminding you to look forward and make sure you're prepared for the road ahead. Discover more at Goodyear.com. Goodyear, more driven.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. The Yankees and Astros will play Game 4 of the ALCS tonight at Yankee Stadium. After a rainout Wednesday, New York will pitch Game 1 winner Masahiro Tanaka tonight. And ESPN's Chris Singleton says Tanaka is a different pitcher in the playoffs.
It's really impressive when you see a pitcher or a player that takes their game quietly to another level and a high level when it matters most.
Chris Singleton on the Baseball Tonight podcast. Game 1 losing pitcher Zach Greinke starts tonight for Houston. They lead the series 2-1. Our coverage starts at 7 Eastern with Dan Schulman and Chris Singleton on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. An AFC West matchup opens up Week 7 in the NFL tonight. The Broncos hosting the Chiefs at Mile High. The running game has been an issue for Kansas City, and they have the 3rd worst time of possession in the NFL this season. In an NBA.com survey of all 30 GMs, the Clippers are picked to win their first NBA title ahead of the Bucks and the Lakers.
At Napa, get a 5-quart jug of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for just $26.99 and a $10 mail-in rebate. General States pricing. Sale prices do not include applicable state and local taxes or recycling fees. Offer ends 10/31/19.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anna Jar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's another thing we've been working on. Just talking as a team. One of the first things we talked about in the team meeting was, getting better turnover battle and field position battle. And so those things we're going to stress and, continue to try to get better at.
That's Gardner Minshew. Oh, my goodness. The guy's coming off his worst career game in the NFL. He had played excellent. We had Minshew mania, mustaches, bandanas, all the stuff. And we haven't talked about him at all this week.
I forgot the Jaguars even had him.
Shame on us.
I know.
Sorry. It's Jalen's fault. That's why I respond. I was late getting back to an email and said, sorry, it's Jalen's fault.
Oh, there you go.
I'm blaming Ramsey for
Scapegoat,
everything,
huh?
man. Oh, yeah.
Okay, man.
He's out. He's got to take some accountability in this.
Do what you got to do, man. If you want to use that excuse, by all means, use that excuse, Brent.
Everything is Jalen's fault.
Yeah.
If I mess up talking, Jalen's fault.
Fair enough.
Whose computer goes off again, Ramsey's fault.
Brent's just trying to be blocked again. It's all good, though.
That's fine. I've got to follow before I can get blocked. All right.
Yeah, I don't think so.
How big of a yeah, maybe you don't have to.
You don't have to.
Maybe if I tried to follow, I'd find out I am blocked.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Brent Martineau, former Jags player. Austin Lane, Coos is here. Does he get this back? Does Minshew find something? Is he about to hit a rut? See, that's my concern now. I knew the game was coming at some point. I mean, he's a rookie, man. I don't care if he was a 10-year quarterback. It happens in that position. You just don't play well. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. So if you thought he was immune to this because he has a mustache, well, you're kidding yourself.
Yep.
It came last week. Hats off to the Saints. Good game plan. We're going to talk about that a little bit and how he can get out of that and what if he faces this kind of defense again. When we go down to the TV studio, we'll have that segment coming up in a bit. But more importantly, can he kind of find his way out of a one-game thing and not make it a 2 or 3 game thing? Because we still don't know how many more games he's even got as the Jags quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. So, Brent, anytime a rookie has a bad game, and Minshew had a bad game against the Saints, let's be honest. Not all his fault, but it wasn't a good game. Anytime a rookie has a bad game, it's all about getting his confidence back. Now, is Gardner Minshew the type of player that really needs the confidence builder? Not necessarily. I think he's the type of guy that has a strong mindset, has belief in himself, whether he has a bad game or a good game. He's going to be even keeled. But the Cincinnati Bengals right now, Brent, they're set up for Gardner Minshew to have a good game, and that comes from a couple reasons. And I found myself on the treadmill this morning doing a little running, and usually what I do is I watch like the team that the Jaguars are playing. I'll watch a couple clips from their last game on NFL Network. I have it all DVR'd. They play the replays of it. Unfortunately, they did not show the replay yet of the Ravens-Bengals game, so I had to go from the Cardinals-Bengals game, okay? And that was at Cincinnati.
You love film study. I like this about you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious, man. I like studying the opponent and everything. And there's a few things that are evident. Number one, positive for the Bengals, Geno Atkins is still good, okay? This is a guy that doesn't get talked about enough. He's a quiet, fly underneath the radar kind of guy, but when he's on the field, he's legit, okay? Number one. But what stands out to me about the Cincinnati Bengals, obviously their defense is struggling right now. They're ranked towards the bottom in run and pass. In terms of run real quick, teams have been hitting the Cincinnati Bengals, and it's a lot like the Jaguars had in Carolina. They have problems with the fundamentals. They have problems staying in the hole. But I just said they got a guy named Geno Atkins. The problems don't really stem from the middle, like it did with Calais Campbell maybe a little bit when McCaffrey ran for the 84-yard run. The problems stem on the outside. So backs that are capable of stretching the field, going on the outside of the tackles, have had a lot of success against the Cincinnati Bengals. So that begs the question, can Fournette be that guy? Because we know Fournette to be more of the between the tackles type guy, run downhill. But I think in order to beat the Cincinnati Bengals here, you have to run more towards outside.
Now, listen, they have been, I wouldn't say with regularity, but we've seen in the last few weeks some of those pitches out to the outside, almost more of a, I mean, it almost has like a little zone read kind of feel to it in some of the way those things develop. But stretch play.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they have tried those, and a couple of them with some success, even
Not
against
bad.
the Saints. I remember the one that had some success back on their own 15-yard line or something. So, it'll be interesting. I mean, of course, listen, the answer, the cure for Minshew mania to bounce back is for Leonard Fournette. What's he done the last couple of weeks, right? I mean, he's been very effective. So, but they got to get him going. And I do think Gardner Minshew mentioned in that soundbite something that because of Ramsey, because of everything else, I still want to reiterate, and it was a very unusual game, the field position in that game. I mean, you have to start with that. Like, I don't think it got enough attention. The field position was disgusting for the Jaguars. Like, you could not do much, and especially with the quarterback not playing well. Who knows if he's banged up a little bit? He's young to begin with. You weren't going to take many chances in a game that was 3-3, 6-3, 6-6. You just weren't going to do it. So I think I almost feel like that's like the foundation of where to begin with that game in particular. What I don't know if it's all this he's in a rut, right? I mean, if it just maybe people have figured him out a little bit. Do you have a 2-game slump or a 3-game slump? I think we'll get a lot of answers. He's a resilient guy overall. I mean, we know his story. We were in Brandon, Mississippi. This one thing isn't going to knock him off, but sometimes the NFL figures you out. And I've got to be fair there. I can't be a hypocrite because I say it all the time about some of these young quarterbacks. I think the NFL figures you out. And did they figure him out? Was that a one-off thing? And what you bring up too, do the Saints even have the personnel? I'm sorry, the Bengals have the personnel to be as effective as the Saints. And that's the beauty, right? Because the Bengals really don't appear to have the goods like the Saints had the goods.
And here's where they're vulnerable in the pass game. You know, they're going to be out William Jackson and Drake Kirkpatrick for sure. So those are 2 starting corners out. And listen, anytime you're out your 2 starting corners, regardless of the team, Brent, there's going to be some kind of liability back there. It's just the way it is. I mean, that's how depth works in the NFL. So from the corner position, that's going to be wide open. And the defense that the Bengals run, they have a new defensive coordinator. They have an entire new coaching staff. And what I get the sense of from the Bengals is the fact that they don't really know their identity of what they want to run yet. Now, that can stem from injuries. That can stem from the defensive coordinator still trying to evaluate his talent. But they don't have an identity. All I've seen that I know for sure from Cincinnati is that they run a lot of cover 2. And if you watch the Arizona Cardinal game, there's a guy by the name of David Johnson. He's a running back. And what they did a great job with David Johnson was in the pass game, which you can do with Leonard Fournette. Now, it still remains to be seen if Josh Oliver is going to be playing this game or not. I think all signs point to he probably should be playing.
I think he's playing.
Which is
word out there today is he's playing.
Which is a good sign for the Jacksonville Jaguars because I guarantee they're watching the same tape that I watched. And with the Carolina, I'm sorry, with the Carolina.
Guess who that's Josh Oliver on fantasy?
Oh, you got him.
I picked him up.
Welcome back, Brent. Good to have you. So, and I'm assuming that, the Jacksonville Jaguars have watched this Arizona Cardinals film as well, like I have. And one thing Arizona did a good job of exposing this cover 2 is they would overload one side with trips. They would have a running back in the backfield. They would have the tight end split up. They had the tight end on the line, the opposite side. And what would happen is obviously in the cover 2, they transitioned to the trips because that's where the strength is. The tight end was on the backside, ran a little route, and then David Johnson got involved in the backfield. And he was wide open for a couple long runs in the passing game. You can do the same thing with Leonard Fournette, I feel like.
I do believe they need to get Fournette going early. And this isn't to say, hey, John DeFilippo, I don't like you passing the football. I like the way he's called games. I like some of the things that he's done. And even the other day, I mean, the 2 drives they put together were nice drives. He didn't have a lot to work with the other day, it felt like. But overall, I do think maybe to loosen things up and also get the confidence of Minshew and find the right plays and whatever it is with that Cincy defense, you got to try to get the ball to Fournette more early. They've run well in the second half. They have not run well in the first half of games. So get him early. Get him going early. And again, now we're going on, let's take me back to the few games. Saints, Carolina, Denver. Was the Tennessee game before Denver? Yeah, it would have been their third game.
Yeah.
So we have to go all the way back to the Tennessee game to find when the Jacksonville Jaguars have had a lead in the first half. Right?
Yeah, correct.
They've had 2 touchdown deficit in Denver, 2 touchdown deficit against Carolina, and like a field goal kind of game in the first half against the Saints. What they did in that other game was they jumped out. Great special teams play, got a little fortunate, and they jumped out to a 14-0 lead because there's a trigger effect there. One, you can obviously get Fournette going even more, wear down the defense, chew up the clock, probably run it out in the fourth quarter, and it breaks off a big run because he's wearing people down. And your defense gets to eat a little bit more, too, when you're up, and they've got to throw it. Makes them a little bit more one-dimensional. We just haven't seen that in the last 3 weeks. So this isn't all on Minshew. But they do have to find a way to get out in front, get a stop early. Let that defense hopefully set the tone early instead of giving up a field goal on the first drive or a touchdown in the first drive. There's a lot that goes into it. I get it. But find a way to get in the lead in the first quarter, the first 20 minutes of this thing, and I think that will be a nice recipe for the Jacksonville Jaguars. A question from Logan Bennett. If Minshew has a bad game against Cincy, does that make him an absolute backup when Foles comes back? Cincinnati with no true starting DBs. Just what Austin was saying in terms of their depth and lack thereof because of injuries. Here's where you have to operate from on the Minshew thing. You still have to operate from the idea that Foles is coming back on November 17th. Right? I think a lot of people have switched their minds prior to the Saints game to say, I don't think Foles is playing. Well, there was too much to still happen.
Yeah.
And here we are with a little evidence against the Saints, and now everybody's like, oh, good thing we have Foles still there, just in case this becomes a thing, right? I think you have to still operate with the idea that if healthy, when he's eligible to come back, Foles is still the guy. Now, what can Minshew do to offset that, disrupt that, change the coach's mind, the player's mind, and keep Foles on the bench? Well, that's obvious. He can play like he did in the first 5 weeks, and more importantly, they could win a few games here over the next 3 weeks.
But here's the real question. So let's assume that Minshew, for whatever reason in the world, has another bad game against Cincinnati, and they start to sputter a little bit. And if you lose to Cincinnati, one would think maybe your shot at the playoffs are very dwindled, okay? And maybe they have a rough game against New York. So the team's struggling, obviously. But does it help to bring back Foles right away then? Because in theory, Foles is brought here to what? Win a division. And if you don't have the options to win a division, is there any more? I mean, is there a positive to just keep playing the young guy, getting him more reps, and kind of sitting your vet until, he's 100% or just, he has time to transition back, come back from an injury? Is there any positive in doing that just for the fact that maybe the playoffs aren't there anymore?
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a fair way to look at it.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'm going to choose not to. Because we just lost Ramsey to the Rams.
Okay.
And we talked about him for a couple of
Sunshine and
months.
rainbows, yep.
And we still have Minshew mania for now.
Yeah.
But here's what we need now in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
We need W's.
Yeah.
And you can't lose to Cincinnati. You just can't. Sorry, Doug, I love you. I hope you keep your job and do well. But this isn't even about you. It's not about the players. It's for all of us.
Yeah.
We can't have a season done 7 weeks into the year.
We need something to talk about.
We do this too much.
Yeah.
They need to win.
They do.
Let's not talk about if they lose.
Okay, gotcha.
Gosh, I hope they don't lose. They can't lose to Cincinnati.
I don't see it happening.
Important to note, Cincinnati will come in desperate. They'll play well, probably.
Yeah, they're
the
at home.
Jags should be a desperate team, much like Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So there's no different from a mindset at all. More talk about it on ESPN 690 on the way.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Sunny and nice today. The afternoon high in the upper 70s with very comfortable humidity. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds that guarantees you a $500 gift card if they can't beat anybody's price on a diamond.
What's up, Jacksonville? This is Allie McDeal from both Best Bet Card Rooms in Jacksonville and Orange Park. This weekend, we are celebrating by giving away up to $50,000 in cash. Play at either Best Bet location for the mini Bad Beat Series, starting Friday at noon and running nonstop till Sunday at 11 p.m. If your table has Aces Full, Beaten, and Texas Hold'em or 7-card stud, you'll be splitting $10,000. For more detailed information, visit them on the web at bestbetjax.com. Best Bet, where anybody can win.
This season, our team will have the best defense in the league. For your home, the best defense is a fence from Armstrong Fence Company. When it comes to home fences, Jacksonville owners trust Armstrong Fence Company. Visit Armstrong-Fence.com. That's Armstrong-Fence.com. Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
You know you'd like to add an $80 gift card to your wallet. Well, that's exactly what you can get this October at any of Tire Outlet's 9 locations. We're here to tell you about the Yokohama Fall Rebate at TireOutlet.com. You'll receive up to $80 on a Visa prepaid card or Visa virtual account with your purchase of 4 select Yokohama tires. The Yokohama Fall Rebate offer, only this month. See more rebates and info at TireOutlet.com. Wholesale prices, premium service.
Want to hear something crazy? Last month, our friends at Arlington Toyota offered prices up to 50% less on remaining 2019 Toyotas. Want to hear something really crazy? Arlington is extending the sale. The 2020 Supra Sales Event has been extended at Arlington Toyota. So come in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019 Toyotas. That's up to 50% less on remaining pre-owned 2019s. Looking at a 2019 Toyota Highlander, it's not $35,000. Now it's only $24,688. Yeah, $24,688 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Highlander at Arlington Toyota. How about a Toyota RAV4? It's not $29,865. No way. It's just $21,888. $21,888 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota RAV4 at Arlington Toyota. Plus, you get Arlington's $5,000 Advantage Club and even a national lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles for new purchases. Shop Arlington Toyota today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/super savings for offer details. Ace is celebrating their 95th birthday with sale prices for you. Ace pleated air filters, assorted sizes, buy 2, get 1 free. Birdseed, just $9.99 per bag for 40 pounds of wild bird food, or 20 pounds of black oil sunflower seed. Fortify your turf from the cold with Fertilome Winterizer, now $17.99 per bag. Shop the 95th anniversary sale abration at your neighborhood Ace. For additional sale items, visit jacksace.com. Get it delivered by shopping at acehardware.com.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Family, food, and football. Renna's Pizza checks the box on all three. Family owned in Jacksonville for more than 40 years. Fresh ingredients every day. And your home for football all fall. Watch the games and dine in at Renna's 5 locations. Or let Renna's help with your football get-together. A menu to satisfy the entire family's appetite. There's a Renna's Pizza near you. Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and the newest location in Neptune Beach. Family, food, and football at Renna's Pizza.
What's good, Stephen A?
If you're a New York Jets fan, let's just say this. Damn, you can't catch a break. I mean, the New York Jets, when's the last time they were relevant?
Catch Stephen A. weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Hi, this is Annika Sorenstam, and I'm a World Golf Hall of Famer, and you're watching Action Sports Jax.
What the heck else is happening in sports? I know the Yankees are down 2-1. What's that?
The NBA's coming back.
What do you say?
The NBA's about to start.
Ty said to me this morning, he said, hey, Dad, you hear the Lakers might get J.R. Smith? I was like, Ty, the only J.R. I've heard about is Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah. It's hard to believe that basketball season's almost here, though.
Hey, Kuz, we haven't really got your thoughts on it. You're the Drive and Dish podcast guy. But I don't really want your thoughts on China because you almost got in enough trouble yesterday talking about Austin's hair.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't his hair.
But
well, it was long hair in general, so it's my hair, Kuz.
HR might have even emailed. I'm just kidding. They didn't.
I can't believe he's still working here, honestly.
But how much do you think the whole China thing is going to impact ratings, the buzz of the league, all of that? And to be honest with you, I don't even really know how good it starts. It's such a long NBA season. I feel like the NBA season really starts around Christmas time when they show the games on Christmas Day.
That's a big day for them,
in terms of like the average sports fan paying attention. So I don't know like what to measure it against, but I feel like this is a crossroads of sorts. I'm not saying it's going to like kill the NBA. I don't think that's the case. I think what it's going to do, or it certainly could do if it hasn't already done it, is stop the momentum of the NBA. The NBA was arguably the fastest growing sport and organization going. I don't have numbers to back me up, but it certainly felt that way. Next to football, it was like on the rise more than anything else. And I just think football, NFL had kind of reached a plateau of sorts. So where does it go? Does it start going downhill? Does it get forgotten about? Where do you see it?
I wonder that too, and that's kind of what we were talking about this weekend. But a lot of reports are coming out. They were saying they thought the cap could take a 10 to 15% hit next year. They were saying the Rockets are going to lose $25 million just because of everything going on, and obviously players making comments and some players not being allowed to make comments, which is another part of it. But yeah, I wonder where it's going to go because I was actually just watching a little bit, the TV in here. I was just watching it. Apparently, China had asked for Silver to fire the Rockets GM, and he's like, no. Like, he's allowed to say what he's allowed to say, but obviously that's going to create a rift. And, there's so many basketball fans over there that it really just, you got to tread really lightly, which is kind of a weird situation. And it's something that all sports are kind of football's trying to expand, go to London. Basketball is obviously out in China and expanding. So my wonder is, if it keeps expanding, are you going to have separate situations like this as you keep going forward? And that could slow it down or hurt it.
Yeah, it's really fascinating because you said it, and we said this last week when we were talking about it very briefly, and that is that there are better ratings in China than there are in the United States for the NBA. And again, it's growing in the NBA. It's not like it's a dwindling sport,
There's a lot more people.
Yeah, there's a lot more people.
Yeah.
But that gives you an idea of it, right? I mean, we kind of measure things in ratings, and you're like, wow. Like when they said that, I was like, holy cow, I didn't really think of it like that. I knew it was big. I knew it was global. But wow, I didn't think of it like that. And at the end of the day, again, politics will get brought into this. I've seen it. I get it. It happens. It's almost unavoidable these days to not have every topic be somehow political. But this really isn't about politics, in my opinion. The NBA is at a crossroads with this story because it's about money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a money issue, like what Kuz just brought up. And that's the end of that's why money can get people to think whatever way you want them to think.
Yeah.
And that's what's fascinating about this one, because the money dwarfs the political divide that might enter this situation, because the money is so big in China and with the NBA. I cannot imagine. I don't know. I guess the best way to comp it is to the national anthem in the NFL.
Yeah.
They're totally unique situations. And really, there wasn't dollars attached to the kneeling down. That was more of a movement, right? Or taking a knee. But in terms of how it impacts the sport from potentially a ratings or people going or the likability or the growth of it or the decline of it, I guess that's where it could be measurable on how this thing shakes out in the immediate. The NFL's recovered from that in a lot of ways. I know they've lost fans too. That happens. But the NFL doesn't feel like they're still hurting based on that controversy of a few years ago. And 3 years from now, maybe the NBA isn't hurting at all from the controversy that takes place now, even if they are from a monetary standpoint, deep down. But for the immediate, I think they're going to feel this one.
And listen, I'm not going to get political about the whole Hong Kong and China thing, but I think that you did a great job of comparing it to the national anthem protest, right? When players took the knee, and it started with Colin Kaepernick, obviously, and then it went on from there. When players took the knee, they heard the outrage from fans. They heard the outrage from the president. So one would assume that they knew that eventually it could hurt the top dollar. It could hurt them making more money, right? It could hurt the business. And I think the players accepted that, and they knew that because it was for the cause, right? Like they wanted to see the social injustice change. And players understood that it could cost you a job, it could cost you a paycheck, whatever it was, they were willing to sacrifice that. And with the NBA, it's the same thing. Now, maybe it's a lot more money because, like you said, Brent, in China right now, the ratings are the highest for the NBA in China.
There's just so much money in China with the NBA.
And I think, and this, we talked about LeBron James a little bit, but this is kind of along the same thing. The big thing right now, it's Hong Kong is versus China, right? And basically, if anyone doesn't really know what's going on, from what I know about it, once again, not trying to really get political, but I'm just trying to set the scene a little bit. Hong Kong basically is run by their own government, and they don't want to be ruled by the Chinese government, okay? And when England owned Hong Kong, they put it in place where the rules, I think, was to 2047.
47.
Yeah, the year 2047, they basically said that Hong Kong would have its own jurisdiction. It would be its own government. And now the Chinese government is trying to take that over. So people are protesting and trying to stand up to that, okay? Yeah. Now, this isn't along the lines of, taking a knee for the national anthem. There's a lot more in play here, I think, in my opinion. But it's still the same cause of people trying to fight for what's right. Whether they're in the right or wrong, people are standing up for what they believe in. And that's where these protests are coming in. So when LeBron James kind of came out and said, you know what, like, I just, he shouldn't have said what he said. He should have waited a week later. People have to understand how us NBA players feel. I just feel like, at least from my opinion, I know from the Chinese perspective, the guys that are protesting, that it left a bad taste in their mouth because LeBron James was the guy that was wearing the Black Lives Matter shirt during NBA pre-games. He was the guy that was in support of Colin Kaepernick. And now all of a sudden, because it's affecting his league, it's affecting his, the top dollar, the bottom dollar, the bank account, basically. now he kind of changes his tune a little bit because it's not in our country.
There are two stories of oppression.
Yeah.
One has a lot of dollars attached to it.
Yeah. And I get one happens here and one happens 1,000 miles away. But there's still signs of oppression.
Yeah. So it's a really fascinating. It will be much like the kneeling down in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's really not. It's so hard to put in context right now when you're living through it. I think it will be something that 10 years from now we'll go back on the Colin Kaepernick, or maybe it's 25 years from now, right? And the Colin Kaepernick and how it all changed and what changed and how this happened. And the NBA might be looking at a seismic shift because of a comment from a GM in the NBA. Yeah. That's all it took.
Well, and
that's all it took. A comment, by the way, not even an action, but a tweet.
And that's the problem, Brent. The NBA has been so, I guess you could call it liberal. I mean, like sound political, but you know, like they're super liberal. It's very free thinking. It's very forward thinking.
And I'm saying negative connotation. I'm just saying there's no doubt about it. The NBA has been a liberal organization.
It's been super forward thinking, and I think that's what makes the NBA so great. I think that's why the fans are such a the fan support of the NBA is probably bigger than it's ever been. Now, yes, the talent has something to do with it as well, but it's also that forward thinking that people, especially in the inner cities, they can relate to. So. And we've talked about it before, like when LeBron James comes out or the NBA comes out and says, we're not going to comment on it. We're not going to comment on it. That's not being forward thinking anymore. That's going back to the old days.
Is that anything different than the way people viewed what the owners were doing or anything else with Colin Kaepernick?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, are
the NBA players now in that role?
I mean,
in a sense. And again, it's not all symmetrical here.
Yeah.
But you get the point.
I do get the point.
And that is very low level on this conversation because there are some deep roots into this conversation. And I think a lot of it, you got to know a little bit more of the Chinese and Hong Kong history and but you kind of laid it out a little bit. There's a lot to it. And really, from my standpoint here as we sit, it's just more like, mostly because I'm not that smart, but I just say, okay, well, the NBA to me feels like this rising organization. It's got a ton of stars. We went from 3 stars on a team, now we just shifted to 2 stars on a team. And now how's this going to work? All these teams out in the West, right? Everybody's got a chance, it seems like.
Yeah.
That's the way we were talking. Well, now all of a sudden, is all that going to come crashing down because of the dollar figures involved? Not even really the actual issue of Chinese and Hong Kong, but the actual dollars that are involved in this. Does it all come crashing down from an integrity standpoint, from an actual monetary standpoint, and from a respect standpoint for these NBA players and the NBA as a whole for being, outgoing on other issues in the past? So it's a fascinating thing, and I don't really have the answers for you. I don't know. I think we're about watching it play out, and that's why I asked Kuz, said, we're about to begin the NBA season, and we might not know this until later in the year when the playoffs take place, because that's really where it feels like the NBA takes off. But it'll be a fascinating watch, no doubt. It's not going away.
And here I was trying to talk about hockey during this segment, but oh well, NBA is king right now.
I was going to say, Bradley Beal got paid too.
I brought it up for about 2 minutes, and there we go for 12. We'll be back on ESPN
conversation.
690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. Looks like Jalen Ramsey has had a miraculous back recovery. In his first meeting with the press in L.A., he expressed his thoughts on his new defense.
I like the defense. I like the philosophy. I think I'll fit in well. I'm going to bring a lot of passion, energy, and heart to the team and to the game.
Meanwhile, Jacksonville linebacker Myles Jack, who wasn't down, by the way, had this message.
Yeah, I wish him nothing but the best, but I didn't want to see him go.
Tonight, the ALCS continues from Yankee Stadium with the Astros up 2-1 in the series to find out who will take on the Washington Nationals in the World Series. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. Best kept secret of tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
Vida de Louis, a locally owned tequila right here in Jacksonville, wants to help our friends in the Bahamas. Hey, everyone, this is Austin Lane.
And I'm Brent Martineau. Vida de Louis is one of the smoothest tequilas you'll ever taste. It's made in Tequila, Mexico, and shipped directly to Jax Beach. But Vida de Louis has friends all over the world, and that includes in the Bahamas. Help us raise money for the Treasure Key Relief Fund and Hopetown Rising.
Check out Vida de Louis on social media and the website vidadelouis.com.
50% of all merchandise will go to these funds. Please help Vida de Louis help the Bahamas by going to vidadelouis.com.
Luxury begins at the door of Atlantic Infinity with your concierge, no-pressure customer experience.
Only one Atlantic Infinity.
Experience the wave of luxury in person at 10980 Atlantic Boulevard or at atlanticinfinity.com.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join. I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. It helped me get my job, it helped me pay for my house.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Tax problems can be extremely stressful and cause financial devastation. The tax attorneys at J. David Tax Law are right here in Jacksonville to be your personal advocate and resolve your IRS or state sales tax issues. J. David Tax Law focuses on your needs and case outcomes. Don't be fooled by these big out-of-town tax companies that only focus on getting you to sign up and pay without even working with an attorney. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777, 904-507-4777. Peace of mind only a click or phone call away, 904-507-4777, or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
Ace is celebrating their 95th birthday with sale prices for you. Ace pleated air filters, assorted sizes, buy 2, get 1 free. Birdseed, just $9.99 per bag for 40 pounds of wild bird food, or 20 pounds of black oil sunflower seed. Fortify your turf from the cold with Fertilome Winterizer, now $17.99 per bag. Shop the 95th anniversary sale-abration at your neighborhood Ace. For additional sale items, visit jacksace.com. Get it delivered by shopping at acehardware.com.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Nolik and Wingo are coming to Jacksonville for the Florida-Georgia game.
Hey, everybody, Trey Wingo. I want to invite you to come watch us do our show live from Intuition Ale Works on Friday, November 1st. To register for your chance to win VIP passes, go to ESPN690.com.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anna Jar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a production business now while you also want to have a big picture perspective. And that's part of our job. That's part of the role that we have. But you know, you just see how important it is to produce in the present. And that's what we want to be able to do. These moves, every move that we make is in the immediate future, but also with consideration of the long-term future as well.
Is it? You don't have any draft picks until 2022. Like, do the Rams think that when the CBA comes up, the NFL will officially be over, like it comes to an end?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, though, Brent, because you said that you slept on it a little bit. You thought about it a little more, as have I.
That was Sean McVay, by the way.
We have to talk about, so going forward now, who's in a better situation, the Rams or the Jaguars?
Yeah, we kind of brought that up and never fully answered it because I gave you kind of that earlier in the show. It led us into Yannick Ngakoue, right?
It did.
Because there's a lot of dollars left on the table. The Jags will be able to free up a good amount of money from a dead cap situation and also from a regular cap situation. Yeah, the last 2 years have been up against it. They spent a lot, and obviously the Bortles deal hurt them to a degree. And not enough they still signed Nick Foles and all that stuff, but they'll actually have a lot of draft capital and actual dollars out there with not a lot of players to sign from a young standpoint other than Yannick Ngakoue and then maybe a Dede or a Yannick Ngakoue, a Leonard Fournette or somebody like that. And I'm probably stretching it. really Yannick Ngakoue is their big money guy left to sign.
Correct.
If they choose to do that, if they get that done. And they still have some flexibility there if you want to play hardball because you have the franchise tag. So where does that was kind of the question. Would you rather be the Rams with Sean McVay, who's a good mind, which it seems like the league might be catching up to at least a little bit, speaking of correcting, and Goff as your QB, Gurley, who I don't know where Gurley is right now. You have some talent on offense. You have defense, maybe the best defensive player in the game. I think everybody would say so in Aaron Donald.
Correct.
Maybe the best corner in the game. And you have some parts on that defensive side of the football. So, but no draft picks moving forward. You don't know if you like your quarterback completely. So you might have to rethink that. And you might be shooting for the moon with a guy that can't get you to the moon in Goff, even though he did get to the Super Bowl a year ago, but they fizzled in that big game. Or the Jags were, heck, they kind of right now feel like they might have two quarterbacks. You've got a nucleus with some flexibility with your roster dollars and who you have under contract and all these draft picks moving forward. So, listen, everybody lives in the now.
Of course.
Everybody would look at the Rams and say, well, they've got a better chance of winning the Super Bowl this year than the Jaguars, right? Hands down.
Yeah.
I get it. But anybody out there at 3-3 in that division, the way the Rams are playing, even with Ramsey, think that they're going to win the Super Bowl? With Jared Goff as their QB, an unknown whatever's going on with their offensive line and their running game? I mean, it changes. But does anybody right now feel like the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl? And I don't even think they're a top 6, top 8 team in the NFL right now. So if I'm putting all my chips in and all you can tell me is you might be a top 10 team in the NFL, I don't know if I like that situation. I want you to tell me I'm a top 3 team in the NFL.
And here's kind of the thing. If you want to go to the Super Bowl, you have to do what? You have to win your division, right? And kind of the curious thing is that the Rams traded for, the top corner in Jalen Ramsey. And if you look at the division, which we said is very competitive, Brent, you have the 49ers, first place, 5-0, undefeated. Seattle Seahawks, the Rams, obviously, and then the Cardinals. And if you analyze those teams, a lot of these teams are built, and I get the Seahawks have kind of gone from that power running style to more of a pass-oriented style. But if you look at these teams, Cardinals, 49ers, Seahawks, I feel like neither of these teams have that one receiver where you got to shut him down.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and if you want to win your division, then you got to be able to do what, you have to be able to stop the run of the 49ers. You have to be able to contain Russell Wilson. And the Cardinals, I don't think they're going to be that contender this year. But with those things considered, I mean, I get, yes, Jalen Ramsey's one of the top corners in the league. But if you look at the Rams division, Brent, do you really need him to win those games?
No. I don't know.
Yeah.
Good point. It's debatable.
But I get it. You play more games in your division.
Well,
so
right now they need a win, and they're got him against Julio Jones.
So, yeah, exactly. So no, and that's a good point. So here's the answer, though. So what team is better off? And should we say like 5 years in the future, Brent?
I think 3, because nobody knows 5, man.
Yeah.
I mean, ESPN 690 we could be on some national show.
Oh, I planned on it.
Or we could be doing this thing out of my basement. We don't even have basements in Florida.
Speaking into existence, Brent, we will be doing it. Not out of your basement, thankfully, because we'd be underwater.
Maybe in the driveway.
Little science for everybody out there. Okay.
So anyway, let's go 3 years because that does factor in this. You can't just eliminate this year. And right now I think we just agreed the Rams are better off right now than the Jags are going for in the last 10 games of the season. First of all, they're one game better. And secondly, they have maybe the best corner, maybe the best defensive player in the league. And, well, a team that just went to the Super Bowl last year.
And that's kind of where I'm getting at here. So if we're going the next 3 years or so, listen, if you're building a franchise, and we've kind of had this conversation before, you got to start with the quarterback. Then I'm going pass rusher. Then I'm probably going corner. Okay. 3 things. Well, obviously coach too and all that stuff, right? But whatever. So I'm talking about the players. So if we start with the quarterback, well, we assume Jared Goff's still going to be there. I mean, at least I'm assuming that.
He just got a huge deal. He's going to be there. By the way, that's the other fact. Did they make a mistake by giving him a big deal?
Kind of calling. I mean, I'm saying they're calling for Blake Bortles yet, but people are a little nervous about Jared Goff.
Oh, no, there have been people in L.A. calling for Bortles.
Okay, so there you go.
But the bottom line is they have hitched their wagon to big money contracts like Aaron Donald, Todd Gurley, and Goff.
And I'm about to commit a major sin among football players of the term I'm going to use about Jared Goff here, but this is what I truly believe in. I think Jared Goff is a system quarterback, okay? I'm being completely fair. I think Jared Goff's a system quarterback. And I think when the system's doing great, Jared Goff is a great quarterback. And I think when the system gets found out a little bit, I think Jared Goff is a below averaging quarterback. So if we keep those couple things in mind here, the quarterback play for the Rams really comes down to, do you believe in Sean McVay? Do you think Sean McVay's offense, do you think Sean McVay's philosophies can turn the ship around? And do you think he can kind of get a one-up again on NFL defenses? If I'm being serious, I think he can. So, in my opinion, Jared Goff is going to be a good quarterback again, just because Sean McVay has the mind for it.
Okay.
So, we got that. We got, what's the next thing? Pass rusher. Now, I say pass rusher, and you think immediately the edge. You have to think of the edge, defensive end. But I think a pass rusher, I think of Aaron Donald, a guy who almost broke the record a couple years ago from a 3 technique. One of the most dominant defensive players in the league. So I'm going Aaron Donald, obviously. He's legit. And then the corner, right? Jalen Ramsey. We know what he's capable of. So if we go to the other side, we got Nick Foles, Gardner Minshew. We don't know who's going to be the top dog out of those two yet. I like John DeFilippo. I like what he's doing. I think he's got the right mind. I think he's the right guy for the job here in Jacksonville. But I have to go off of what I've seen with Sean McVay so far. Sean McVay and Jared Goff have got the Rams to a Super Bowl, okay? So advantage, in my opinion, Rams. Pass rusher. You could debate either Yannick Ngakoue, you could debate Calais Campbell. I'm not ready to give the Josh Allen yet who the best pass rusher on the Jaguars is. I'd probably say Calais Campbell right now for what I've seen this year, okay?
Let me ask you this. I'll put it this way to you. Michael Brockers, Sebastian Joseph Day, Aaron Donald, and Dante Fowler?
Yeah.
Or Calais Campbell, Yannick Ngakoue, Marcel Darius, and Josh Allen.
But we got to think Marcel Darius not going to be here next year.
True.
Yeah.
But Dante Fowler won't either be there for them. They're not going to give him big money.
So, you have to go with the Jaguars. But then that's hard. I mean, if I'm building the team, I'd probably go with the Jaguars because it's more depth, right? So you're right there. But then if you want to throw the corners in the mix, A.J. Boyer or Jalen Ramsey?
Jalen.
Yeah.
But if you look at some of the numbers, AJ's not that far behind.
Dude, listen, AJ's
and I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you that AJ's better than Jalen. I've never said that, and I won't.
AJ's a great corner in his own right. Don't get me wrong. AJ's a top-tier corner in my opinion. But in my opinion, Jalen Ramsey is also one of the top 2, if not the best corner in the league. So I'd probably roll with the Rams still quick, but after like that 4 or 5 year period, because let's be honest, you still have to draft right if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars. How much do you trust them drafting correctly?
Yeah. Well, that's fair.
I mean, it's kind of roll the dice.
It's fair, but again, if I'm a new GM coming into either situation, I'd still like the Jags situation.
Oh, if you're a new GM, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. A little balling and falling. It's good thought. It's a good argument. I think both sides can win. Just depends how you want to look at it.
Who are you taking, Jaguars or Rams? Get off the fence.
I think I'd rather have the Jags because I want to win a lot. I don't want to win just this year.
Fair enough.
I want to win a lot. More to come on ESPN 690 next.
At home or on the road, Action Sports Jax is with the Jaguars, win or lose. We cover it all here on ESPN 690 and on TV on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Countdown to kickoff on CBS 47 at 11:30 a.m. The post-game show on the Action News Jax Facebook page immediately after the game, and Action Sports Jax primetime, 10:30 p.m. on Fox 30 and 11:30 on CBS 47. Action Sports Jax and Jags Talk Daily on ESPN 690 from 3 to 6 p.m.
Trust, tradition, and quality. A winning combination to feel good about your home. Sometimes it's just that time to replace your roof. Or maybe you need to fix your roof after a recent storm. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martin of Action Sports Jax. And there are so many roofing companies in the area. But which one can you trust? Let me tell you about my friends at Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company. Trust a family-owned business with owners that grew up right here in Jacksonville. Talk to the owners directly. Get free estimates. And you can trust Jack C. Wilson Roofing to walk you through each step of the process. Tradition? Jack C. Wilson is a name you know. The longest-standing roofing company in Northeast Florida. They have been repairing and replacing asphalt shingle roofs since 1946. How about quality? A roof you will tell your neighbors about. Quality from start to finish, shingle by shingle. You can request a free estimate at jackcwilsonroofing.com. It's the first name in Jacksonville roofing. And make sure you let them know Brent Martineau sent you.
What's up, Jacksonville? This is Allie McDeal from both Best Bet Card Rooms in Jacksonville and Orange Park. This weekend, we are celebrating by giving away up to $50,000 in cash. Play at either Best Bet location for the mini Bad Beat series, starting Friday at noon and running nonstop till Sunday at 11 p.m. If your table has Aces Full, Beaten, and Texas Hold'em or 7-card stud, you'll be splitting $10,000. For more detailed information, visit them on the web at bestbetjacks.com. Best Bet, where anybody can win.
Vida de Louis, a locally owned tequila right here in Jacksonville, wants to help our friends in the Bahamas. Hey, everyone, this is Austin Lane.
And I'm Brent Martineau. Vida de Louis is one of the smoothest tequilas you'll ever taste. It's made in Tequila, Mexico, and shipped directly to Jax Beach. But Vida de Louis has friends all over the world, and that includes in the Bahamas. Help us raise money for the Treasure Key Relief Fund and Hopetown Rising.
Check out Vida de Louis on social media and the website vidadelouis.com.
50% of all merchandise will go to these funds. Please help Vida de Louis help the Bahamas by going to vidadelouis.com.
Hey guys, has a little blue pill let you down? Is the bedroom getting a little spooky? Guys, here at menshealthltd.com, our expert medical staff will help you get the fright out of your night. Are you tired of her saying, we can try again next weekend, when all you really want her to say is, wow? Come see our medical staff. We will treat you with the utmost care and confidentiality. The appointment's only $149, and we will guarantee to get it working during your first appointment, or that appointment's absolutely free. Free, guys. Guys, I know Halloween's coming up. Let's not allow it to scare you. Guys, book online at mymensclinic.com or call 904-615-8885. Again, book online at mymensclinic.com or call 904-615-8885. Guys, let's fix it for her. It's not hard.
Wawa is making the milestone of its 200th Florida store with a commitment to fighting hunger with a special handcrafted beverage called the Wawa Florida Sunrise for a limited time in all stores with up to $25,000 to benefit Feeding Florida food banks.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
I'm sitting with the defense by the lunch table. He goes, Austin, come over here. I'm like, Alex Smith knows my name. That's pretty cool to start things off with. And then all of a sudden, me and Alex Smith are talking about. But I'm saying the culture, it manifested on itself.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Hey, I'm Jay DeMarcus from Rascal Flats, and this is Action Sports Jax.
I act like we not frustrated. Like, come on now. Yeah. We don't. I'm not saying we don't care about, the fans being frustrated, but like we frustrated in here. And that's what y'all fail to realize. Y'all think we just walking around and we happy about, what's been happening lately? We're not.
That's Jalen Ramsey. Some of the best of Jalen Ramsey over the last few years in a Jacksonville Jaguars uniform. Doesn't happen. We're not letting him go just yet. We were, by the way, just listening. I got a 4-minute and 42-second voicemail down in TV land from a viewer, and it is pretty fun. Some of it's whatever, but some of it's also cold, we were laughing. If you were just watching us during the break, that's what we've been listening to actually over the last 2 breaks on Jalen Ramsey. I actually thought it was going to go down a road I did not want to enter.
Sure.
But it was okay. It was a fine phone call for the most part, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think the older gentleman was ready to put hands on Jalen Ramsey if it came down to it.
At one time, he did say, what am I? I'm like 6'3" or 6'1" or 230 pounds or something?
He said that he's 6'1", but he stands up straight.
He stands up straight. That's what
which is such an old school thing to say, by the way. There's no one in that locker room today at the Jacksonville Jaguars is going on the field against an opponent and being like, man, I'm 6'2" and I'll stand up straight and beat your ass. Like, no one's saying that kind of thing. Such an old school move by that guy. But yeah, it's quite the voicemail, and I'm trying to talk Brennan into playing something maybe tomorrow or something like that. But it's too comical not to share.
Yeah, at least part of it is. The end's great. I mean, it ends with some gusto.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a little balling and phone. We got coming up at 5:00. By the way.
Yeah.
We go down to the TV studio, the wall that says it all, and we break down Minshew a little bit more. What went wrong against the Saints? And really, my curiosity is how much will other teams do this, and what can they do to avoid it, and what can he do to be a little bit better? And Austin does a great job of explaining that. So that will be coming up here in a few. But before we hit the top of the hour, how about a little balling and falling on a Thursday?
Yeah, so balling. I'm not sure if you really followed Hard Knocks this year, Brent. You really didn't miss much. David Carr, Hunter Renfrow, just, to be honest, pretty vanilla, pretty boring. But the one thing I took away from that Hard Knocks season, and then the one standout to me at least, wasn't John Gruden, was a guy by the name of Darren Waller, who is the starting tight end right now for the Oakland Raiders. This is a guy who kind of fell in some hard times, basically, got addicted to drugs, had forms of addiction, got those, kind of those demons exercised and everything, went to a bunch of treatment and rehab facilities, and now he's living substance free. And he's having a hell of a year for the Oakland Raiders right now, one of the top tight ends in all of NFL. Well, he just got offered a new contract, signed a new deal with the Oakland Raiders. So truly a really cool story. A guy that really came from rock bottom, thought people, kind of gave up on him a little bit, and was in all, I'm just going to say it, in all thoughts and promises. I mean, the guy is lucky to be alive, I think, first of all. But number two, he's kind of got a new lease on life, and he's living his life to the best of abilities now as he signed a new contract. So props out to Darren Waller, new contract extension for the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
Good story out there out west. And you know what? The Raiders are actually a pretty good story right now. We'll see where it goes. I don't know. It changes so quickly in the NFL, but right now 3-2. And they are a good story in the NFL. All right, my balling is going to be, I mentioned this a little bit yesterday on a couple, but they've added some more, and so I'm going to give it to them. It's the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp in their Twitter, their social media.
Oh, yeah.
They started it a couple days ago once Ramsey was gone by saying, and unfollow. And then they went sayonara flash sale, 20% off all online merchandise, and they used Ramsey in his number 20 jersey as part of the promotion, so 20% off. So they're nailing it, right? They're doing a great job. And on top of that, they had a fantastic year. We talked about it. They had all the SportsCenter top 10 highlights and Stone Garrett and a lot of stuff to celebrate. They also just tweeted out a little bit ago, our front office teamed up to help package 50,000 meals for Rise 230 at Maxwell House yesterday.
Wow.
So congratulations to them helping out in the community. And as for that Stone Garrett and some of the plays, let's see. It says, after 357,000 Twitter views and a top spot on the ESPN SportsCenter Top 10, Stone Garrett's outstanding catch from July 26th is up for a minor league baseball award.
Nice.
So you can actually vote on it until October 31st, which is obviously Halloween next Thursday.
Let's get on that.
At MILB.com. Actually, that's 2 weeks from today, not next Thursday. MILB.com to vote for the outstanding catch from Stone Garrett. So I think the Shrimp are killing it. It's not baseball season for the Shrimp right now, but they've been awesome. It's been a lot of fun. They do a great job, and the social media team doing a nice job. So a shout out to them. They're balling. Meanwhile, we know the Nationals are balling, and hopefully the Astros will be balling. Game 4 of that ALCS. Houston's up 2-1 over the Yankees.
Brent, it's funny that you brought up the Nationals, because for my Fallen segment, we haven't really had a chance to talk a lot of baseball, because we've reached the conclusion now of As the Ramsey Turns, right? I mean, it's kind of the final episode. Jalen's in LA. Now we had to cover that. So to try to get back a little more baseball talk, yes, Nationals going to the World Series. Props to them. They've done a lot with their pitching. Cardinals can hit anything. Props, like I said, props to them, but I'm kind of bitter because they took Milwaukee to the limit. Milwaukee should have beat them, but it is what it is. Congratulations to the Nationals. But with the Nationals not going to the World Series, there is one team in Major League Baseball now that has fallen. And they're falling because there was only one team left in all of baseball who has never been to a World Series. And this team is the lone redheaded stepchild in the mix. Do you know who this team is?
Kuz, take a guess. Let's try to.
What team in Major League Baseball has never been to a World Series? There's only been one of them.
I got it.
Kuz, I'll give you a little hint. How old are you?
I am 28.
1994, 1992, 1990. Upper Deck card.
Whoa.
Was good.
I'm going to say
it was 89. It was 89 Upper Deck card.
Good call. If you were a kid, you might be a little young for this, but if you were a kid, you wanted to have this team starter jacket.
Not only that, but you also would wear your hat backwards.
You'd wear your hat backwards.
And you would have one sweet swing.
One sweet swing. It's the Seattle Mariners.
Yes.
Good call, Brent.
You know what we should have said? It's where Kevin Durant. It's where Oklahoma City used to be.
Now we're talking.
That would have been talking.
Supersonic.
See, hey,
Mariners
life is about communications.
Yeah.
And you've got to communicate, and you got to go where he would know.
Exactly.
And we should have said something about Oklahoma City.
That's on us, Brent. That's on us. But yes, the Seattle Mariners, the only team to not make it to a World Series now, thanks to the Nationals. So we'll see. I guess that's all you can say from that.
How about that? Hey, we were just talking about China and the NBA.
Yeah.
And I just saw this. Adam Silver says the financial losses in China will be substantial, is the quote. The losses have already been substantial. Our games are not back on the air in China as we speak, and we'll see what happens next. I don't know where we go from here. The financial consequences have been and may continue to be fairly dramatic. So that will be my fall, and just to piggyback on our conversation, that's new information out of Adam Silver. And I will say this, and I don't want to be hypocritical here because I've praised Silver. I don't know how Coos feels about it. I think Adam Silver is like one of the best commissioners I've seen.
Yeah.
So now he's up against it, right?
He does,
how he comes out in all of this, what he does, his actions, his words, really important. Spotlight's on, microscope's on.
Yeah.
Adam Silver, I feel like he's done a really good job with the NBA.
Well,
I really like him.
Just watch an NBA draft. They actually cheer him. Unlike Roger Goodell, who just gets booed to the high heavens.
Anything like that.
Yeah.
All right, some more football talk on the other side, and then we'll take you to the wall that says it all for some Minshew talk and how they can get better against Cincinnati. All on the way, 5 o'clock, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
At Action News Jax, we're here for severe. When storms threaten, put your trust in the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team, led by Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, rated the most accurate for the last 13 years.
The First Alert Weather Team is the only team of certified meteorologists in the Jacksonville area. That means we have the most schooling and training to forecast and predict severe weather. And that experience will keep you safe from a storm.
Action News Jax First Alert Weather on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
I'm Thea Jeffers, owner of Breezy Jazz Club and T-Works Interior Decorating. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's possible to own your own business. But starting a business isn't easy. The Jacksonville Women's Business Center helped give me the confidence to keep going when the going got tough. At JWBC, I got the training, networking, and support I needed to help me reach my goals. To find out more about how JWBC can help you, visit jaxwbc.com.
Lowe's helps property maintenance pros save on what they need to do the job right. Look up to 35% off select appliance special values. And through our quote support program, you can get discounts on large volume purchases, like 4-piece kitchen suites as low as $1,169. Save every day on 5-gallon pails of Valspar 2000 interior paint starting at $89.98. Plus, get 5% off eligible purchases every day just by using your Lowe's business credit account. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Appliance offers valid through 10/23. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to credit approval. Exclusions apply. U.S. only.
At the 1955 Rose Bowl, Goodyear began providing stunning aerial coverage of college football, forever changing the way the game is experienced. In recognition of its significant contribution, the Goodyear blimp is being inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame as an honorary member. It's the first non-player or coach to ever be inducted. Goodyear is celebrating this honor by reminding you to look forward and make sure you're prepared for the road ahead. Discover more at Goodyear.com. Goodyear, more driven.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown for tonight's Game 4 of the ALCS. The Yankees are helped by Wednesday's rainout because now they can bring back Masahiro Tanaka on regular rest. But what about the rest of the series? ESPN's Buster Olney.
Because Aaron Boone is so reliant on his bullpen, and now, if the series were to go 7 games, he'd have to use his bullpen at pieces, his primary guys, for as many as 4 consecutive days.
Buster Olney on Golick and Wingo. Yankees outfielder Giancarlo Stanton out again tonight with a sore quad. Zach Greinke on the mound for the Astros with a 2-1 series lead. Our Game 4 ALCS coverage starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Also tonight, the first game of Week 7 in the NFL. The Broncos host the first-place Chiefs at Mile High. The Chiefs have lost 2 straight after a 4-0 start. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports Wizards guard Bradley Beal will get a 2-year max contract extension from the team worth $72 million. And the WNBA's New York Liberty will play their home games at the Barclays Center starting next season.
It's October, which means it's Geico-ing.
Don't be scared by high rates on car insurance. This Geico-ine, get a quote with Geico and see how much you could save. Maybe so much, it's scary. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Don't worry about nobody but myself.
Be miserable out there, huh?
Oh, yeah, it was sad out there. We got beat, what it looked like. Man, I don't control the damn offense, but I do what I do. I act like we not frustrated. Like, come on now. I don't believe in having friends on the field. Like, I mean, my brother, my dad, my mom, grandma was out there. Like, it's on.
Some of the Jalen Ramsey's greatest hits.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking of this, and I don't know if we should do it or not. But top 3 plays, top 5 plays type of thing for Jalen Ramsey. Like, see, you don't do those things when you really want to, like, give the guy the middle finger going out of town.
Yeah.
You know? You usually do that to celebrate players that might be gone. But at the same time, man, you cannot deny how impactful that guy was here in Jacksonville. I think part of it is I think some people are a little bit scarred right now by the whole thing.
People are upset, Brent.
And so they don't want to admit it, but I think you got to bring back all the conversations we've had right during this whole thing. And part of it is fantastic football player. Also, from Shad Khan's point of view, and I do think this is an important thing for the Jacksonville Jaguars, from a branding standpoint, I've been on record many a time saying even more than Maurice Jones-Drew, this guy had a national brand to him. And you just lost that. You lost a great football player. You lost a brand football player. And I think that adds relevance to your organization, to a smaller market team like Jacksonville. So those are the facts, in my opinion, you know. And on top of that, made some critical plays. You know, I bring up those 3 guys that are now with the Rams, the Bortles, Fowler, Ramsey. They were all, I can give you off the top of my head, probably 5 to 10 plays just like that, how impactful those 3 guys were in 2017 when you went to the AFC Championship game for just the 3rd time in franchise history.
Yeah.
You know? So, and yes, Ramsey is far and away better than those other 2 guys, but they all were part of it. So, Ramsey, of course, play number 1 has got to be the Bills' interception, right?
Yeah. That's what sticks out to me right now.
But what also sticks out to me, the 2 interceptions against Pittsburgh
Big Ben,
last year. The one in the end zone, great catch.
Yeah.
And by the way, there weren't just 2 interceptions against Pittsburgh. I think he had more than that in his career, but some of those plays, tremendous. And then I think it's funny. It's like you go from a few plays with Ramsey, and then you almost go to like the A.J. Green.
Yeah.
Right? Which a lot of people will now admit and say that A.J. Green won that fight.
Well, yeah. And listen, when we're talking about, you know, Jalen Ramsey, there's a lot of emotion tied to this player, okay? And we've seen it in the media, and obviously we've seen it with the fan base on Twitter and Facebook and everything. And I get it, but I don't get it, okay? I mean, yes, when he was on the field, he was a great player. I'm not sure what type of guy he was in the community. I'm sure he did some stuff that, you know, that was beneficial and making progress, so power to him there. But in terms of, you know, fans burning the jerseys and calling him out on Twitter saying, you know, they never cared about him, but then they feel the need to make a post about him like every other hour or so, which kind of shows you do care about him a little bit. But, and listen, and I'm going to say this wholeheartedly here, Brent, all right? The whole fan player thing, it kind of goes both ways. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, where am I going with this conversation? And for me, when I played in Jacksonville, there's a reason why I'm here today. There's a reason why I'm on the show with you right now. It's because Jacksonville, to me, is a great place to live. I love the people in Jacksonville. I love the fan base of the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, and it was my choice to live here. So I love the city of Jacksonville, and I love everything it has to offer, including its fan base. But, like, as a player, and I'm not the only guy that thinks this way. A lot of guys think this way. But, like, as a player, I'll never forget when I got cut. And it was one of the most crappiest moments of my life, getting let go by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And at that time, I was big on Twitter. and I was big about my brand because I knew it correlated from NFL branding. Set yourself up for the future. So I cared. I mean, I was calculated of what I wrote, and I was calculated of what people thought about me in my mentions. So I get cut, I get let go. You know, I shed my tears in the parking lot, drive away, get ready to go to Kansas City. And as I go on Twitter, the next couple of days, I couldn't help but notice, all the Jaguars fans in my mentions being like, hey, you're a cool guy, but I'm not going to follow you anymore on Twitter. We'll see you. Good luck to you. Unfollow. And like this started with, maybe 5 or 6 people, and it turned out to be hundreds of people.
Hey, that's why I have more than Austin.
There you go.
Doubled them up.
But at that point, Brent,
people might start unfollowing me actually if I keep talking about Ramsey.
No, absolutely. But listen to me, Brent. At that point, when I saw that, I realized I'm not going to take things personally with fans, and I'm not going to be personal that I'm covering players now. I'm just not going to do it because I know how it is. And here I thought, I always try to be, listen, I may not have been done the most community work. I may not have done the most charity work. I tried to do my best, and I took pride in going to the Children's Hospital and hanging out with those people.
Bought ice cream for people at the town center, man.
I bought ice cream for people, and I also bought pizza for people that were alone on Valentine's Day. Those are kind of my things, man. So I always try to do something.
We should commemorate that.
Exactly.
We should go back and do that again.
We can do it again, but I always had a goal.
Brenda's Pizza.
Good call. But I always had a goal, when I was doing that stuff, Brent, I was just trying to be the most respectful guy possible. I was trying to be Mr. Jacksonville Jaguar. So hopefully I was able to make a difference, at least in the community, and be a cool guy. But then I saw when people started unfollowing me and say, hey, we wish you good luck, but I'm not going to follow you anymore.
Yeah.
I thought they were following me more for the person that I was, in the community, the person that I was trying to make people laugh on Twitter. But it turns out people were just following me because I was wearing the Jaguars jersey. I was throwing on the helmet. It's what I was doing on the field. And as soon as that stopped, they didn't care about me anymore, right? So, from a player's perspective, if it's Jalen Ramsey, I really don't think he cares. If people are bragging on him and, making all these videos about him and burning his jerseys, I mean, maybe a percentage of Jalen cares, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I think if you're a fan, you can do whatever you want to do, but I wouldn't be so invested in it. You have a promising team here with Gardner Minshew, at the helm now. I mean, there's a lot to be intrigued by. So I'm just saying, I guess it works both ways where sometimes just take the emotion out of it, man, and enjoy the show.
Yeah, that's a great story. It's interesting perspective from where you sat in it.
It was a rude awakening for me, man, because I didn't think that was going to happen like
that's
that.
That's why. At least you thought that people followed you for a reason or ended up knowing why they followed you.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out why the hell they follow me. So,
well, to be fair, I have gained some more followers because we have the show now. So we're off to a good start.
But here we go.
I don't care about followers.
I guess we should,
anymore.
if we want to keep followers and people listening, maybe we should get off the Ramsey stuff, because Kevin says, here's a thought. Why don't you guys stop talking about Ramsey and talk about the guys who are here and apparently want to play for this team? Enough. Then Duval Doom. Duval Doom's in a tough place right now.
Why am I not getting tweeted in these things?
You are in Duval Doom's.
Okay, cool.
He says, nope, let him go. Baby back.
Yep.
No more clips. We're on top of the Bengals. We're on top.
We're on top of the Bengals.
I think that's what he said.
They're on top of them?
I don't know. Yeah, I told you he was in a tough spot. Rachel, FLA, says, no, this is like seeing an X or something. Can't watch. Too sad for me. Yeah, that's the way it is.
Physically, the record, they're on top of the jet? Okay, whatever. Okay, whatever. Okay.
Duval, like I said, Duval Doom's in a tough spot.
Okay.
Hey, sorry, Ramsey folks, we're going to talk about the current players, okay? The current players.
We're talking about defensive coverages and Gardner Minshew, yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about Minshew in a moment and that. So, but just a quick thought before we get into it. Next segment, we're taking you downstairs, the wall that tells it all, although it says it all, and an illustration of what the Jags had go wrong with Minshew, especially that cover 2 and how he was able to stay in the pocket and the Saints kept him in the pocket. So that's coming up. But before we get to that part, Herndon, Boyer, and Hayden.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't have Ramsey, so it doesn't feel like as elite as it was. It's no longer, you can say, we're the best tandem in football. But how good is that secondary? I'll give you, I know nobody knows a lot about Herndon.
Yeah.
And Herndon's a guy from Vandy and a guy that I've talked to people in the building about, and they say, hey, listen, he's not Jalen Ramsey. We understand that. But he's a very capable starter in the NFL. They like him. They feel like, Shad Khan said in that SI article, we wanted to see this 3-game stretch and see if we like what we have. Can we survive without Jalen Ramsey? And the answer they got, and they also got 2 first-round picks and a 4th-round pick, was yes. And so I think he will be a guy that will get better. But how's their secondary now that it doesn't have Ramsey?
Yeah, obviously it took a little bit of a hit. And I think that you've seen so far is that teams, when Trey Herndon is in, they have picked on him a little bit. If we want to break down the Cincinnati Bengals, because we're on top of the Cincinnati Bengals, Brent, let's go ahead and break them down real quick. As far as the receivers are concerned, we got Tyler Boyd and we got Auden Tate. And I'm curious to see it, honestly, because your money would be on A.J. Boye, because now A.J. Boye is Jalen Ramsey. You're going to put A.J. Boye on the best receiver. I don't visualize him just playing aside and being like, who's ever over here, I'm taking. No, it's going to be Boye. You're taking the best guy that the offense has to offer. You stick to him, and then we'll handle the rest. So if we're breaking down the Bengals right now with Tyler Boyd and Auden Tate, on paper, Tyler Boyd's the better guy. He has more experience. I think he's an overall better route runner. But the problem, and listen, I think Trey Herndon Brent's played pretty good overall. He hasn't been elite, but I think he's played pretty good. And I think he's willing to step up to the challenge. The problem, though, with Auden Tate, we talked about before on this show, Auden Tate is a big dude. Auden Tate is like 6'5", 240. He's built like a tight end, but he's a wide receiver. And obviously he's good at the jump ball. So if you're Trey Herndon and assuming that they put A.J. Boye on Boyd, well, then that's going to leave Herndon on Auden Tate. So this might be a different look for Trey Herndon because he's not used to going against such a big guy, but it's going to be very telling to be how confident he is, because there's not a lot of 6'4", 6'5" guys that are 240, Brent, that can, do the jump ball like Auden Tate can. So, and I get it. This is a Bengals offense that they're decimated offensive line. Dalton's not playing his best ball. Yes, the Jaguars should win. But at the same time, they're playing at home and they have a lot to prove themselves. So you're probably going to get the best Cincinnati Bengals, and a lot of that's going to go through Tyler Boyd and Auden Tate.
All right. Real quick thought on this as you're saying that. Two quick ones before we got to get out of here and we get to the happy hour horn. Is DJ Hayden, or should he be in the conversation as one of the best nickels in the league? Like, who comes to mind in best nickels in the league?
So far, he's up there. It's... And here's the funny thing about that.
Honestly, I raise this question. I don't even know. Like, I don't think nickel corners, and I'm not saying he is. He feels like he's playing unbelievable right now. So I guess who comes to mind when you think of a best nickel? Does anybody?
And here's the funny thing. You bring up a nickel corner, and it's like, it's like a luxury. Well, you think it's a luxury.
Well, it shouldn't be, though. It's a 65% position.
Teams are running more nickel than ever now. So I think you got to put him up there as one of the best. As far as like who's playing at an all-pro level, honestly, I couldn't tell you right now.
I'm going to dig that up.
Yeah, dig it up.
All right.
I got nothing.
I've got another one for you.
Yeah.
Think about the schedule real quick. Okay, Auden Tate. Yeah, whatever. The Jets. Like, anybody that scares you a wideout?
Well, Robbie Anderson.
Okay. Scares me? No.
Well, I don't know. I kind of called him on fantasy football last week. He had a good day for me. So
okay, next one, London, DeAndre Hopkins, and Will Fuller. That will be the first huge test, right? Indianapolis Colts, T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't think he's playing great, but he's been dinged up a little bit, too.
He's been dinged up.
Who else do they have? The Raiders. Anybody scare you?
Not really.
Tampa, Mike Evans.
Yep. Well, Tampa has Godwin, too. Tampa's actually got 2 good receivers.
Chargers, obviously Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go through the schedule really quick, but it's not like they play. Oh, they do get Julio. Yeah, they get Julio.
Yeah.
Late in the year. So they're gonna have their challenges. We're gonna find out. There will be a time when say, "Oh, geez, wish Ramsey was here."
Yeah.
There probably will be that time.
And this kind of begs the question now, Brent.
3.
We talk about their defense a little bit. They haven't shown a lot of exotic looks like we thought they were gonna. Is this where they start showing some different kind of looks, helping the guys in the back end out a little bit and show some more of that 3-4 look?
Todd Wash did say they might have to move things around now that Ramsey's not there. When we come back, we go down to the wall that says it all on TV land, and we take it through Gardner Minshew's struggles from a week ago. How does he fix it? Next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy, nice and cool tonight, dropping into the low to mid-50s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, that guarantees you a $500 gift card if they can't beat anybody's price on a diamond.
You know you'd like to add an $80 gift card to your wallet. Well, that's exactly what you can get this October at any of Tire Outlet's 9 locations. We're here to tell you about the Yokohama Fall Rebate at TireOutlet.com. You'll receive up to $80 on a Visa prepaid card or Visa virtual account with your purchase of 4 select Yokohama tires. The Yokohama Fall Rebate offer, only this month. See more rebates and info at TireOutlet.com. Wholesale prices, premium service.
The cooler temperatures are finally here, and that means it's time to play some golf at a great golf course. Go to the Golf Club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. Unbelievable promotion here. 2 free months of full golf membership and a $500 gift card with a paid initiation fee and a 12-month commitment. The Golf Club at Southampton, home of the Dream 18 and your new golfing destination. For information on these unbelievable programs, call the Golf Club at Southampton at 904-287-PLAY. That's 904-287-PLAY.
Pop quiz. If you sell a home for $500,000, how much would a traditional real estate agent charge in commission? If you guessed $25,000 to $30,000, you're right. But if you think that's the only way, you're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners are making the switch to Rex. With Rex, you get a dedicated agent and a full-service experience at a fraction of the cost. Rex uses game-changing technology to cut out the middleman and save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in fees. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. Remember, this is your home. Why give an insane amount of equity away to an agent? Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with an experienced real estate team with you every step of the way. Get the most out of your home. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME.
Florida, CQ 1057788.
Minimum fee may apply. Not licensed in all 50 states. Visit rexhomes.com to see if Rex is available in your area. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
Want to hear something crazy? Last month, our friends at Arlington Toyota offered prices up to 50% less on remaining 2019 Toyotas. Want to hear something really crazy? Arlington is extending the sale. The 2020 Super Sales Event has been extended at Arlington Toyota. So come in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019 Toyotas. That's up to 50% less on remaining pre-owned 2019s. Looking at a 2019 Toyota Camry, it's not $25,555. Now it's only $17,288. That's $17,288 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Camry at Arlington Toyota. How about a 2019 Toyota Corolla? Not $20,485. No, it's $13,888. Yeah, $13,888 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla at Arlington Toyota. Plus, you get Arlington's $5,000 Advantage Club and even a national lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles for new purchases. Shop Arlington Toyota today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/super savings for offer details.
So your team scores. Suddenly you're best friends with perfect strangers. Tullamore Dew calls these friendships fanships. When the game is on, order a Tullamore Dew, the original triple-blended, smooth-sipping Irish whiskey for the person next to you. This game day, grab a Tully and strike up a fanship at...
Find Tullamore Dew in Jacksonville at Culhane Southside, Culhane's Atlantic Beach, and Lynch's.
When it's game time, it's Tully time. Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof, 2019, imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc. You know you'd like to add an $80 gift card to your wallet. Well, that's exactly what you can get this October at any of Tire Outlet's 9 locations. We're here to tell you about the Yokohama Fall Rebate at TireOutlet.com. You'll receive up to $80 on a Visa prepaid card or Visa virtual account with your purchase of 4 select Yokohama tires. The Yokohama Fall Rebate offer, only this month. See more rebates and info at TireOutlet.com. Wholesale prices, premium service.
We love our pets. Our furry little friends mean so much to us that we want nothing but the best. At Forever Vets Animal Hospital, we feel the same way too. Forever Vets Animal Hospital understands that you have busy schedules. That's why we're open 7 days a week and have extended hours during the work week. In case you have an emergency, remember, stay calm and call Forever Vets Animal Hospital with 6 convenient locations throughout Jacksonville and St. Augustine. Forever Vets Animal Hospital is here for you and your pet. First-time customers receive a free pet exam from one of our highly trained veterinarians. We also offer wellness plans that fit everyone's budget. Forever Vets Animal Hospital makes life easy
for you and your pet. Go to forevervets.com to schedule an appointment. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets healthy and happy forever.
The Stephen A. Smith Show.
I don't know what would make him think I would care about it. I don't give a damn whether I'm blocked on Instagram or not. Not like I tried to Instagram him directly. Anybody thinking about trying to post something on his page?
The Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Hey everybody, Trey Wingo from Golick and Wingo. You're listening to Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, and this is where we come down to the TV studio and the wall that says it all. By now, I hope you know that this segment exists. We like to try it on Thursdays, so here we are, a little TV mixed with radio. We're in the CBS 47 and Fox 30 studios. And again, as I like to tell everybody, if you're watching on the social media platforms, this is a cool illustration of a couple of plays from last week's game against the Saints and some big topics to talk about going forward against the Bengals. If you're on just the radio side on ESPN690.com or in your car, hopefully we illustrate this well enough where you can listen and it still makes sense. So here we go. Just 3 downs with Austin Lane. Yeah. And this is all about Gardner Minshew. Yeah. And this is now this cover 2 defense that the Saints showed again on Sunday. And it looked to confuse or at least throw off an offense that was clicking through the first 5 weeks, even with Minshew. And I got to believe a lot of defenses going forward will try to do this if they can.
First, from my point of view, I'm glad we're breaking down the offense today, right? Because the past couple weeks it's been the defense, and I feel like I haven't been really kind to my former brothers, I guess, on the defense. So I'm glad to see some offensive stuff here, but we're talking cover 2. We're also talking defense. And listen, make no mistake about it. The New Orleans Saints, they had a great game plan in what the Jaguars were trying to do. You know, we've been talking about, Brent, on the show a little bit, especially weeks 1, 2, and 3. D.D. Westbrook was kind of that one receiver. He was the guy that guys were game planning against. And I think New Orleans came in here and looked, D.D. Westbrook, he's a great wide receiver. But DJ Chark, I think at the time he was top 5 in yardage, I want to say, maybe in touchdowns as well.
Top 5 fantasy player.
And he's a top 5 fantasy player, most importantly. Didn't have him on my team, unfortunately, but he's a top 5 guy. So they saw that and they said, you know what? D.D. Westbrook's a great receiver, but we're not going to let DJ Chark beat us because he's beat so many teams before. So this defense right here kind of catered more towards DJ Chark. So now what we're talking about here, Brent, it's a basic cover 2 package. And I think you had Chris Conley on your show, and Chris Conley kind of broke it down a little bit as well. But basically what we're talking about in a cover 2 is you're going to have 2 safeties deep. And basically what their job is to do is the safeties back here, they're going to take half the field. So the cover 2 is implemented for the big play. Those DJ Chark plays, those Chris Conley plays, those go routes. They're taking away the big play with the cover 2 defense. Now, a lot of teams do this. You know, this is something that the Jaguars should have seen before.
Yeah, it's pretty traditional.
It's pretty traditional.
And just to reset for folks that are just listening, this play is in the second quarter. Jags down 3-0. It's 3rd and 4. They're on their own 21. And there are actually 9 players on the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
And only 2 safeties back.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're seeing right now from the New Orleans Saints, 9 guys on the line of scrimmage, little confusion, right? Mm-hmm. This is what I want to see the Jaguars do more. Confuse that offensive line. Confuse the quarterback, especially a first-year quarterback. Maybe he doesn't know where the blitz is coming from. So right off the bat, we have confusion with 9 down guys on the defensive line right now. Now, as the play develops, you see some guys start to drop back into coverage, right? And this is where the cover 2 comes in. And this is where the beauty of having a shutdown corner like Marshawn Lattimore comes into play. And I get it. Some people want to say you need the shutdown corner. You don't need the shutdown corner, right? I mean,
is that a topic this week?
We're getting ready to get that topic, I think, the whole next month or so. But when we're talking about Marshawn Lattimore, I have to give him his props. He's one of the best shutdown corners right now in the NFL. So he shadowed DJ Chark pretty much the entire time. They were worried about DJ Chark beating them deep. And as you can see right here, Chark is lined up outside. Yeah. That tells me right now, go route, post route, something of that nature.
This is a 4 wide receiver set, essentially, because the tight end is actually in receiver formation.
Exactly.
Along with 2 guys up top, D.D. Westbrook, DJ Chark. And then on the bottom here is, who is that on the bottom? Is that Conley? That's probably Conley.
Conley, yeah, exactly. So once again, this is a cover 2 play. So the safeties are going to have over-the-top help. But the beauty, when you have a shutdown corner like Lattimore on DJ Chark tries to run, he tries to do a go route. And you'll see down here in the play a little bit where that's covered up. Usually the safety wants to follow the best receiver. but he knows he has Lattimore and DJ Chark. So the safety can kind of cheat in a little bit. He can try to cheat in a little more towards the middle of the field, and that helps the defense in the back end.
Yeah, and let's reset this, because as we've had these conversations with Chris Conley or this week, when they saw this defense and looked confused, the place to beat this defense, the cover 2, is in the middle of the field.
Exactly.
And here on this slide, although Minshew is already in motion to throw the football to Chark on the go route down the right sideline, a ball that he's thrown pretty well so far this year, you do have 2 players in the middle of the field. One of the safeties picks up Jeff Swaim across the middle, and he's covered up. But D.D. Westbrook, he's got 2 guys flanking him, although there's a little separation as Minshew's throwing the ball, which, it's hard to tell the timing of all this. In hindsight, it's easier. But there are at least 2 players trying to do something in the middle of the field for the Jags.
And you said exactly right. So if you're trying to beat a cover 2 look, you have to beat it in the middle of the field because the outside is going to be contained. Now, don't get me wrong. Cincinnati, they don't have a Lattimore. They're actually they're probably down their 2 top corners right now. So they're going to be vulnerable at the corner spot. But Cincinnati loves running the cover 2 as well. So how do you beat them? You run a bunch of routes, and this is where the Jaguars have been beat a little bit. We talked with Quincy Williams. We call these level routes, basically. And what that means is you attack the middle, obviously, but you attack a guy on a deep post, and you attack you attack it with a shallow post. So you have necessarily pretty much 2 guys in the same kind of spot, except maybe 10 to 15 yards deeper. One guy's going to pop open because they can't cover all that area. Another thing, too, Leonard Fournette. Get him involved in the pass game out of this cover, too. It's been, let's talk about like a check down Charlie. Check down Charlie started because of cover 2. So
and it's okay.
Exactly.
It's okay.
Oh, and then that's okay, especially with Leonard Fournette, who's been a kind of a threat right now in the receiving game. But the biggest thing with that, Brent, you have to rely on the offensive line to block. If they can block, give Gardner Minshew some time, which they should be able to do, Leonard Fournette should be involved in the pass game as well.
In fairness, to wrap up this play, by the way, Fournette is open on his left side as he's throwing the ball, but he does have a defender that has eyes on him right around the first down marker. It's a 3rd and 4 play. So there's not a lot happening on this 3rd and 4 play for Minshew. He takes the shot on one-on-one coverage, which most quarterbacks will say, hey, I'm going to give my hot guy a chance to make a play. So that's okay. One other thought, Jeff Swaim here in the middle is running this post, and Josh Oliver likely comes back on Sunday.
Correct.
The speed of Josh Oliver could be a difference maker against the cover 2 and stretching that ball in the middle of the field.
Well, and here's where it helped to have Lattimore.
Am I right? I'm talking like I know this stuff.
No, you're not pretty. I mean, did you play Madden? Sounds like you play Madden a little bit. No, you're all good. And what you said was essentially right here. Obviously, DJ Chark, Gardner Minshew, they have a rapport. They have a chemistry. And they try to hit him on a go route. Now, usually, Brent, what you're going to see is you're going to see the safety in the back actually take that route as well. But since it was Marshawn Lattimore, since they had him one-to-one coverage, they were confident. The safety actually cheated more towards the middle. So he was taking away Swaim, or maybe something with D.D. Westbrook coming by. They were cheating that a little bit. The Cincinnati Bengals cannot do that.
They don't have the personnel.
They don't have the personnel to cheat like that.
So that's
exactly.
Important. All right, let's take a walk. We're going to get kicked out of the studio, so we only have a few minutes. But these next 2 plays are essentially the same thing and the same concept. It is Gardner Minshew was held in the confines, for the most part, by the Saints of that pocket. They didn't let him run around. And we did bring up the knee and the groin could be a problem, at least a little bit, from holding him back from being more mobile like he has been in the first month of the season. And he wasn't. But I think you have to credit the Saints, too. And can Cincinnati do this to him? Can other teams do this to him and make him throw from the pocket? Remember, he's not tall.
Exactly.
So you're throwing over tall trees and passing lanes you got to find. Sometimes your legs allow you to find passing lanes.
And listen, there's not a lot to like about this Cincinnati defense, right? They've been very vulnerable in the run game and the pass game as well. But they do have some good defensive linemen. Now, Carlos Dunlap sat out last game. We'll see if he's playing this week. But Carlos Dunlap, a guy I was with the combine with, very tall, lanky receiver, likes to use the ball a little bit. This is exactly what the New Orleans Saints did. They didn't necessarily use speed rushes to beat Gardner Minshew. It was a lot of bull, pushing the guys back and collapsing the pocket. Same thing with Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan's sacks came from bull rushes.
He did.
Okay.
He just beat the rookie Juwan Taylor.
Exactly. And,
these are the 2 plays, by the way, just to interrupt you. The 2 plays we're showing here. And again, you can follow along on our social media platforms. But you remember these plays. They were the Cam Jordan sacks.
The sacks.
One late in the first half, one in the 3rd quarter. And there were the 2 sacks by Jordan.
So, I mean, on this one right here, Brent, as you can see, Cam Jordan's coming really from his blind side. Like he doesn't see him coming.
Not much to do.
Not much he can do there. At the same time, we talk about Gardner Minshew and his poise in the pocket. He's still a rookie. He's still learning and everything like that. He has shown glimpses of brilliance and everything, but I think when you equate that with the injury of maybe his knee or possibly a groin, and I talked about it before on the show, anytime you're on the injury report, it means something's up.
Yeah.
I mean, no player wants to go on the injury report and have to go to treatment at 6 o'clock every single morning to get ice on it. It's very inconvenient. It sucks. So from that perspective, you got to keep in mind the groin. Now, if we come down a little bit here, Brent, this is the one.
The first play we showed, just to interrupt you again, this is late in the first half. It doesn't really matter. They had just knelt on the ball. Who knows if anything was going on?
Yeah.
This one's a big play because with 4 minutes to go in a 6-3 game, they're driving. They're just out. They're at the 10-yard line on a 3rd and 2. They pick this up, they might take the lead.
And this is the one where I kind of said a little bit when I watched this play happen live, I wonder if something's up maybe with his groin or his knee.
Interesting.
Because as we see this play take place, and once again, New Orleans kind of doing the same thing, right? They're collapsing the pocket. But here, actually, at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see what we call an exit game. That means the end's going first and the tackle's coming outside. What happens here, and this is a great job, actually, by Cam Robinson, you see at the bottom right here.
He sealed that thing.
Cam Robinson sees this happening, and Cam Robinson pushes the end down in the gap. The end falls, and it throws the entire game off. The tackle who's supposed to come around Cam Robinson, to try to get to the quarterback, gets all tripped up. I mean, basically what you have right here is a busted rush assignment. And this leaves, as you can see down here, a wide open hole to run for Gardner Minshew.
Yeah,
he just doesn't see it.
Left, but he just doesn't see it.
He just doesn't see it. Well, and I get it. You're looking around the field.
He would pick up the first down easy.
Yeah, you're trying to see who's open and everything like that. But I think Gardner Minshew has shown great pocket poise and vision so far in his young career. And the fact that he didn't see this right here, this giant hole open up to either run or make a play happen, doesn't step up at all, it kind of points to maybe he's a little more hurt than he's, really saying in the media.
Really good thoughts, by the way. I love the illustrations of it. Nice job again here on the wall that says it all on the TV side, CBS 47 and Fox 30. Again, you can see it all on our social media platforms. We got to run back upstairs and do some radio again here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. But just to put a bow on this thought, he might have been hurt a little bit, or he might just be a rookie, man.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
sometimes you need some of that experience. He's a smart guy. He's played brilliantly so far, but Sunday was not his best day, and some of that could be the rookie blue.
And here it is. When you're a rookie and you need confidence, and the Cincinnati Bengals, everything I've seen on film from them so far, they should provide Gardner Minshew a lot of confidence going into Sunday.
All right, nice job, Austin Lane at the wall that says it all. More on the radio side on ESPN 690 coming up.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. Looks like Jalen Ramsey has had a miraculous back recovery. In his first meeting with the press in L.A., he expressed his thoughts on his new defense.
I like the defense. I like the philosophy. I think I'll fit in well. I'm going to bring a lot of passion, energy, and heart to the team and to the game.
Meanwhile, Jacksonville linebacker Miles Jack, who wasn't down, by the way, had this message.
Yeah, I wish him nothing but the best, but I didn't want to see him go.
Tonight, the ALCS continues from Yankee Stadium with the Astros up 2-1 in the series to find out who will take on the Washington Nationals in the World Series. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. Best kept secret of tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
What's the fastest way to get behind the wheel of a 2020 Toyota? Toyota Rent-A-Car from my friends over at Arlington Toyota. The 2020 models are now arriving at Arlington Toyota, and Toyota Rent-A-Car is the best way to try it before you buy it. Got a road trip coming up, a long weekend with the girls, or a football getaway maybe? Toyota Rent-A-Car at Arlington Toyota's got you covered with an amazing selection of 2020 Toyotas that are road and rental ready. Everything about renting a Toyota from Arlington Toyota is easy. They've got amazing 2020 models, simple online reservations, and staff that's always eager to help. Gotta tell you, the hardest part's gonna be when it's time to turn your rental back in. These 2020s are sweet. Toyota Rent-A-Car from Arlington Toyota is ready to put you behind the wheel of a 2020 Toyota for your next adventure. Just visit arlingtontoyota.com. That's arlingtontoyota.com and get your online reservation started today.
What's up, Jacksonville? This is Allie McDeal from both Best Bet Card Rooms in Jacksonville and Orange Park. This weekend, we are celebrating by giving away up to $50,000 in cash. Play at either Best Bet location for the mini Bad Beat series, starting Friday at noon and running nonstop till Sunday at 11 p.m. If your table has Aces Full, Beaten, and Texas Hold'em or 7-card stud, you'll be splitting $10,000. For more detailed information, visit them on the web at bestbetjacks.com. Best Bet, where anybody can win.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
You know where you win games, Dan? In the trenches on Sundays.
Appreciate all your thoughts on this matter.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stuttgarts on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
He hit it really high. Oh my gosh! Whoa, crazy. That's not going to be good, probably. No, it's fine. Maybe.
It's fine.
What happened? I'm waiting for the thing to pop up.
Are they still running? Are they running the home run?
No, somebody caught it, but it went really far.
What's on the scoreboard?
No, nobody scored.
Are there commercials?
It's kind of a funny thing. Check it out. It's Barstool, right? That did it. And so basically they are watching the baseball game. Well, they're not really. The screen is turned around.
Yes.
And there's a bunch of guys there watching the game. But this young lady has to talk them through what is happening.
Who has no idea what baseball is.
And she really doesn't have any idea about baseball.
Yeah.
So that's what that was.
Yeah.
And so essentially they're like, they'd go to commercial. Yes. Well, they must have got it out. So everybody went crazy.
Absolutely.
That's a pretty cool idea.
I like that. Well, it was a punishment, if I'm not mistaken. There were a bunch of Yankees fans who were watching, obviously, the MLB playoff game. And by my understanding is that they had to be punished for, I think they left like a giant mess of like food and stuff they didn't clean up after themselves. So the punishment was they had to come to the office, watch the baseball game, but as opposed to watching it on the screen, they had to have someone explain to them what was going on.
Great idea.
I like it.
I could see it turning into like a game show.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know,
something. I mean, something's going to come of it. Something comes from everything. Yeah,
I bet. So that was kind of a funny thing that just happened. Hopefully you got a chance to listen and watch to a wall that says it all, just 3 downs. Austin Lane taking us through Gardner Minshew a bit. If you missed it, and if you're just in your car or listening on ESPN690.com or TuneIn app or just the audio part, try to go find it on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, and you'll get a little visual indication. Austin does a good job of kind of giving us that illustration anyway, but we have video that goes along with it, everything he's saying. So kind of a new thing we started a few weeks ago, and we're enjoying doing that, breaking down some of the plays. A little bit of offense this time. We'll see if the Jags can figure out this Cincinnati defense more so than they could the New Orleans defense when they only scored 6 points. And obviously it was a pretty rough outing for Gardner Minshew. What's your gut feeling? I mean, is he going to bounce back? Because I don't have one right yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like the rookie blues can be the rookie blues, and you might sing that tune for a couple of weeks. I'm a little worried about that.
You know, I think it goes like this. I mean, obviously, this is a must-win game for the Jaguars, and if you're the Bengals, it's probably a must-win game for you as well. All right, I'm not taking away from the Bengals. I mean, this is a big game for them at home.
Unless they're trying to beat Miami to the punch.
Tank for Tua? Yeah, maybe. I guess they're kind of fed up with the red rifle. Maybe it's time to bring in the tank for Tua.
They did pick the NC State QB, Ryan Finley, last year in the draft.
True.
So they do have a young quarterback, but, you know, you only get top 1, top 2, top 3 picks every once in a while.
Yeah. I think that the Jaguars will be able to run the ball. And if you're able to run the ball, that sets up the pass pretty well. And I don't think they're going to let Gardner Minshew do anything that he's not comfortable doing. I think it's going to be a smash mouth type of game, and they're going to sprinkle some short to intermediate passes in there, and occasionally try to hit the long ball. But overall, I think it's going to be a comeback game for Gardner Minshew. I think it's going to be a confidence builder for Gardner Minshew. And yeah, obviously, I have the Jaguars winning this one.
Interesting. John DeFilippo talked today, Jaguars offensive coordinator, and he's like, it's on me. I didn't have us ready to go enough or make the adjustments enough. And yeah, I mean, listen, that's a bit of coach speak. But I do think there was an element of that on him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to I believe Gardner Minshew had a rookie day.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they confused him. And I also believe they played good defense. So those things across the middle that we even described a little bit of, well, they weren't there.
Yeah.
Not as much as you would hope.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of different factors, but I do think this won't go down as John DeFilippo's finer performances as well. Maybe the adjustments weren't quick enough, maybe trying to figure it out, maybe being ready for something that they might had not seen yet with Minshew. Should have been more predictable. Who knows? But I like DeFilippo, man. I mean, I think it's funny, around here. Now, listen, if they put back-to-back stinkers, then people will start talking about DeFilippo. They'll start talking about Minshew. They'll talk about the offense. But around here, for the last decade or so, for the most part, nobody liked the offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who you were.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have been Sean McVay, and the way they were producing, nobody would like you.
Yeah.
So the offensive coordinator has almost been, villain number one for the fan base and everything. You haven't even heard a mention of John DeFilippo's name, and we're 6 weeks into the season. Like, there are no critics of John DeFilippo, maybe until this past week. And even then, I think people chalk it up to, okay, rookie quarterback. The guy's been doing a really nice job.
I think he has, and the big question with John DeFilippo right now, and big question we should all be at least excited about is, what is Josh Oliver going to do in this defense?
Yeah.
All right, because this is a former third-round pick out of San Jose State who's ready to unleash. He doesn't have any experience playing in preseason or in regular season yet. And listen, Brent, we talk about this all the time, where when a rookie tight end comes in, they don't really put up the gaudy numbers right away, at least for the most part. There's always the outliers out there, but for the most part, it takes a while for rookies to get adjusted. Why is that? Well, look at the situation. Look at the scenario. Any tight end that's really taken in the first or second round, they're supposed to be an impact player, right? You count on them to play right away. Well, being a tight end, not only do you have to be good in the pass game, but you have to be good in the run game as well. So I think sometimes tight ends get kind of backed in the corner a little bit, and they're like, hey, I know you're a rookie, this is your first year, but we need you to block this defensive end who's an all-pro, and we need you to run these routes against corners, safeties, or linebackers who are also pretty good players. So I think sometimes it can be almost overwhelming for the tight end because they're asked to do so much. Josh Oliver, though, they're not really asking Josh Oliver to be a stud in the run game. That's never been his MO. Now, it's something you can gradually learn and get better on because you don't have to be this Gronkowski world beater where you just push guys off the ball. No, there's plenty of tight ends that I can give examples of that are really good blocking tight ends that use their body. Tony Gonzalez was classic like that. Tony Gonzalez was never going to push anybody off the ball, but he was a master of sealing the blocks. He was using his angles and everything to his advantage. Josh Oliver can definitely do that. And who knows? Maybe Josh Oliver can be the road grader one day too. Doesn't really matter though. Jaguars aren't asking him to do that. That's Swaim's job. All Josh Oliver has to do is run routes. And Josh Oliver does that very, very well. So I'm curious to see how they're going to implement him in this offense, assuming that he's going to be 100% healthy.
Yeah, and really it's I think they've done a nice job of waiting for this and making sure that it's healthy.
Yeah.
Again, people think hamstring, and you're like, come on, man. It's been. I looked it up yesterday. I was actually going back and looking at some other things, and it was August 1st was the day that he did that.
Yeah.
But again, I will remind you that Doug Marrone said on August 1st or 2nd or 3rd or right after that, he said, it's a pretty good one now.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good hamstring injury.
Yeah.
So, and I've, heard the same thing since then.
Yeah.
That could he have played probably last week?
Mm-hmm.
Not to get into like the whole Jalen Ramsey kind of stuff, but could he have played? I probably could have played. I saw him warm up before the game.
Yep.
He had a healthy workout before the game. But I think they did the right thing saying, hey, you know what? This is a long-term deal, man. You do not mess around with that. Is it worth getting you back for the Saints game and not having you for the next 3, 4, 5, or maybe the entire season? So I think they've handled this one well. I think he is going to be 100%, by the time he gets back on the football field, or as close to it as you can get back. And now I'm excited kind of to see the difference.
Yeah.
I have limited expectations because I've been one of those guys who says, hey, listen now, rookie tight ends, young tight end, let's not crown him. But it actually works out perfect timing for the Jags They lose O'Shaughnessy to an ACL. They lose Swaim last week to a concussion. That could be a few weeks. Who knows, right?
That is a good point. I didn't think about Swaim being out for this game either,
Yeah.
but you bring up a good point.
So it's perfect timing to get Oliver at least involved in the passing game, and they'll have to fix the other stuff with DeValve and Koyak and the blocking, right?
Correct.
But at this stage of it, I feel like John DeFilippo's offense, I feel like Gardner Minshew, I feel like after watching that cover 2 stuff, they need a pass receiving tight end.
Yep.
And that is almost more important than giving me a couple of blocks on the outside.
Without a doubt.
It is something to keep an eye on, though, as well with that run game, because not only did they lose tight ends, Swaim, from a blocking standpoint, but they lost Marquise Lee. And people sleep on the idea that Marquise Lee is a fantastic run blocker. He's critical. Watch how many times he's in the game, and he doesn't even go out for routes.
Yeah.
He's like blocking. It's an expensive blocker, but he does a great job. He's heavily involved, so it hurts them not to have Marquise Lee as well in the run game. I think they would say that inside the building. I don't think you would say that watching the game. It doesn't jump out on the TV, but not having Swaim and Lee, I think, hurts them to a degree in terms of trying to run the ball for Fournette.
Well, and those are great points, Brent, and something I didn't even think about. But yeah, with Swaim being out, with Marquise Lee being out, what do those two guys do? They help the edge. You can run on the outside. Where is Cincinnati very vulnerable? On the outside edges. Well, now you lose 2 of your premier blockers on the edge. I'm curious to see if the backup guys can handle it.
Quick thought, and I'm going to get to this tomorrow more, but you won't be here. So college game this week. Should the Gators be concerned about South Carolina? South Carolina just beat Georgia. Noontime start for the Gators. Coming off the high of having to play in Baton Rouge, back-to-back road trips. They look ahead to a bye and then Georgia, which really it could come down to all that here in Jacksonville. Everybody's got them penciled in to come in here with 1 loss. They'll beat South Carolina, no problem. Just ask Georgia how easy that is. So how concerned should Florida play after they've been able to take care of business a lot? And I was impressed with them in Baton Rouge, even in a loss. The way they were ready for that game and took the lead in that game, even though they couldn't finish it off. Now this is kind of a different test for Mullen and this Florida team. They have to play a pretty average South Carolina team, but the thing is they have to be ready to play because this is college football in a nutshell. This is like sports in a nutshell. You go there and you look up at the scoreboard in the third quarter and you see what Georgia saw, right? You're down 17-13 or 13-10 or 16-16 or whatever it is, and you're like, oh, crap, we shouldn't have been in this situation.
Yeah. Let me ask you this one question first, though. Do you think this is an advantage for the Florida Gators to play at noon as opposed to maybe a night game? Because if you're South Carolina, you obviously want to put this game maybe a little later to get with a more like. Because I always feel like night games and things like that are more of a bigger deal. You think that helps Florida at all?
There's no doubt that plays a role in it. In terms of you'd rather have 3:30. Everybody's liquored up a little bit more. 8 o'clock especially.
That's what I was getting at, but I didn't want to say.
Yeah, no. That is the test of time in college football. And with all due respect to South Carolina, though, if they were playing at noon, 3:30 or 8, I'm not sure Florida would be like, oh, my gosh, I've never seen a crowd like this before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I think it's hard for players to play noon, both South Carolina and Florida. So if somebody comes out flat, well, they got a chance to either get upset or they got a chance to get routed if you're South Carolina.
So here's the thing, and I honestly, South Carolina's coming with momentum right now. They just had one of the biggest, probably the biggest upset in all of college football this year. And while Florida did get beat by 14 to LSU, I think they have some momentum coming in too. I think we saw a Florida offense who, in terms of explosiveness, is right there. They were kind of going tit for tat a lot with LSU. So the fact that I think the offense is going to be all right, I can see the Florida defense being dominant. And with that Georgia game against South Carolina, Brent, it was awkward and it was weird that you didn't see a lot of explosive plays from Georgia for whatever reason. I don't know if they took South Carolina lightly, especially with one of the best offensive lines in the country, if not the best offensive line in Georgia. So I think Florida's got way too many weapons. I think they're too explosive. Yes, they're playing in South Carolina, but that environment, that atmosphere, especially at noon, doesn't really scare me. So I think Florida's going to be all right.
All right. I was trying to look for potential upsets in college football, and I'm having a hard time finding them. Clemson goes to Louisville. Louisville scored 62 last week, but I'm not concerned for Clemson. I'm really not. West Virginia goes to Oklahoma. So Oklahoma shouldn't have trouble there. Wisconsin's at Illinois.
Yeah.
Illinois is not good. I think Florida, South Carolina is a legitimate one if you were going to pick one, given the fact that South Carolina just comes off with that win. And it's only a 5-point line, believe it or not, for the Gators. Auburn at Arkansas, nah. Purdue at Iowa, I don't see it. LSU at Mississippi State. Mississippi State has not been good. We're not ringing that bell this year so far for Mississippi State. And then that's about it. I mean, you get to the back end of the top 25, but I don't see a lot of potential upsets.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of potential upsets, but keep an eye on West Virginia and Oklahoma. Now, this is at Oklahoma, but West Virginia, all things considered, new coaching staff kind of had to turn the program around. They've been playing some pretty good football. You know, I think they gave Texas a run for their money late into the fourth quarter. Texas obviously beat them then, but I think West Virginia is a decent football team. Now, can they beat Oklahoma? I doubt it, but I think it might be closer than people think.
All right, stay in your lane time here on Action Sports Jacks on a Thursday.
Stay in your lane. Back-to-back good days on the timing, Coos.
You guys are getting this thing down.
We're getting there.
It only took 100 shows.
Well-oiled machine, man. So, Brent, I'm not sure. Do you watch South Park a lot?
No.
All right. Well, for my cruise control today.
Does that surprise you?
It doesn't surprise me at all. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. But on cruise control today, I'm going out to South Park. And I'm not sure if you saw the show. Obviously, you didn't last night. But for anybody that saw the show last night, they may have heard a familiar quote that may or may not have been taking a jab at LeBron James and his conversations on Twitter about the China problem. Now, let me go ahead and read LeBron James' quote first. And the people at home listening can decide if South Park was taking a jab with LeBron James or not. So LeBron James' quote a couple days ago, 2 days ago. My team in this league just went through a difficult week. I think people need to understand what a tweet or statement can do to others. And I believe nobody stopped and considered what would happen. Could have waited a week to send it. Now let's hear what Eric Cartman has to say about his lunchroom being taken over.
Yes, we do all have freedom of speech, but at times there are ramifications for the negative that can happen when you're not thinking about others and you're only thinking about yourself.
Whoa, what's going on, kids?
The protesters are trying to kill Eric again, Mr. Mackey.
Okay, kids, we don't want another incident here, okay?
They're trying to change people's lunch. They don't realize it harms people financially, physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
So there you go. Take it for what you want. I think it might be a little jab at LeBron James. Twitter thinks it might be a little jab. And all media outlets think that they were kind of talking about LeBron James.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so there you go.
That's the fun part of those shows, right?
Shout out to South Park. Oh, yeah. They're always very topical and stay. And props to them because, like, the cool thing about South Park, I'm sure you don't know, Brent, but they, like, write their show, like, a day before it airs. So it's
timely.
So it's very timely. Yeah.
Speaking of, I wrote the open for Jaguars All Access tonight.
Okay.
And that is at Mill and Mushroom.
Yeah.
In Avondale. It's coming up at 7 o'clock on Fox 30. We'll have Miles Jack and Calais Campbell there.
Nice.
And in my open, I might have used the word back 7 times.
Okay. Something to keep an eye on then. I can't wait. I'm going to DVR that when I'm on the road.
It's not South Park kind of writing.
Yeah.
But I might have thrown a little subtle hint in there as well.
Okay. I can't wait. This could be an interesting show tonight, by the way. You know?
Coming off the news. I mean, we've had some interesting shows. The topics, again, I told you this.
Two captains.
A month ago.
Yeah.
Jags might be the most entertaining team in the NFL.
Yep.
That did not fade. That lasted 6 weeks, and all the way through this week, they were the story again, along with the Rams this week. But they've been very topical. Okay, sorry. Pump your brakes.
No problem. So pump your brakes going out to Alabama freshman Connor Kroll. There was a bomb threat actually called in for the LSU Florida game, Brent. Obviously, we didn't hear about it because the authorities didn't take it seriously. But Connor Kroll called in a bomb threat for the LSU game. Care to take a guess why a student at Alabama would call in a bomb threat? LSU Florida. Big game. The student from Alabama calls in a bomb threat late in the fourth quarter. Any idea why he would call in a bomb threat? And Kuz, feel free to chime in too if you have an idea why.
I can't get my arms around this one. I'm trying not to think like this guy.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
There's nothing really malice about it. Basically, police have acknowledged that the student called in the bomb threat because his friend, and I quote, was in danger of losing a large bet. So in order to try to get out of the bet and try to stop the game, they called in a bomb threat. Unfortunately, didn't work out. Kroll was arrested and put on a $100,000 bond.
Wow.
And then booked later.
What do you get arrested for? Like, what is
calling
that
a bomb threat? Oh,
I know,
that's a good question.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
wonder
sure
what that's called. I wonder how that.
Yeah, but this story doesn't say what he was arrested for.
Man, oh man,
I mean,
hey, don't gamble, kids.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, he was charged on communication of false information.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that must be.
Number one, good friend, I guess. Try to help your friend out with a bet.
I hope he's going to help with a $100,000 bond.
Yeah. Number two, never make a bet where if you lose it, you have to call in a bomb threat. How does that sound? Yeah.
Be careful out there, people.
So is this you in the intro tomorrow? Oh.
Back. Back.
That might be it tonight.
Sounds like a duck quacking.
It does a little bit.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris Berman.
Yeah.
All right, hey, we're putting a bow on this thing. You have a big weekend coming up.
Yeah,
you
I'm
going
actually
to Murray State.
I'm out of here tonight. Actually, heading to Murray State for homecoming. Our 2009 team is being honored at halftime. So,
Cool.
Gonna go back
Check
to
in
Racer
tomorrow.
Nation. Yeah, I'm gonna go
Who
see
do
if
they play?
anything. They're playing Eastern Kentucky, I believe.
Okay.
So pretty big rival. I'm gonna go see if any of my stuff's still hanging
the
up.
Railroaders?
The Colonels, but close.
Colonels.
Not even close, actually.
Not even close.
But I'm going to head back to Murray and see if any of my stuff's hanging up or if Quincy Williams kind of replaced me in every aspect of college football. We
All
will
right.
find out.
Well, drive safe, have fun,
Thank you, man.
and we'll talk to you tomorrow anyway.
Yeah.
We'll have some picks, and
I'll
we'll
call
be
in.
out at our Game of the Week, Action Sports Jax Game of the Week on ESPN 690. We'll be in Baker County for the West Nassau-Baker County game. Tonight on TV, Jaguars All Access. Check it out. See you at Bellow Mushroom. It's on Fox 30 at 7. Have a good night, everybody.
Back.
Hey, boss.
What?
You think it's okay to get out of here yet?
No, the cops may be still patrolling around out there. Give it another 10 minutes.
Okay. Boss,
What?
you still mad at me?
Well, let's assess our situation, shall we? Here we are hiding out from the cops in this storm pipe because you neglected to determine that the house we came up on had safe touch security. Is my assessment correct?
Yeah, but I swear they didn't have Safe Touch last week.
I don't want to hear about it, Corn Pop. We didn't even get to the front door before the safe touch video monitoring kicked in. Now here we are, crouching in this stinking ditch.
Sorry, boss.
Just so I know you know, tell me the Crooks Are Us motto again.
Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
At least you got that right.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. If you've received a letter from the IRS and can't pay them, things can get bad quickly. The IRS can seize your bank account, garnish your wages, and place liens against everything you own. If this is you, contact J. David Tax Law, a local firm right here in Jacksonville. Your first step to stop IRS harassment is a no-cost consultation. They explain exactly your options and how they will resolve your tax issue. Only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you, and fee payment plans are affordable for everyone. Get the protection you deserve. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away. The fastest way to get started is to call 904-507-4777. 904-507-4777. Or online at jdavidtaxlaw.com. The number again, 904-507-4777. Or online at jdavidtaxlaw.com.
In an ocean of car dealers, there's only one, Atlantic Infinity. The all-new 2020 Infinities are coming in, most loaded with luxury and convenience that will delight and amaze you. With Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, delivering exceptional touchscreen command of your email, texts, music, and maps. Now at the one and only Atlantic Infinity's new showroom. Call for a test drive, 642-0200. Atlantic Infinity, 10980 Atlantic Boulevard. Follow the wave.
Shop the 904.
This holiday season, shop local retailers right here in the 904.
When you shop local retailers, you're making an investment in our own community.
When you shop locally owned businesses, most of the money you spend with them stays right here in our community.
Locally owned and operated businesses give our community character by offering unique options for shopping and dining.
They are a big part of what makes living in the 904 so great.
Shop the 904.
Powered by Cox Media Group.
Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Family, food, and football. Renna's Pizza checks the box on all three. Family owned in Jacksonville for more than 40 years. Fresh ingredients every day. And you're home for football all fall. Watch the games and dine in at Renna's 5 locations. Or let Renna's help with your football get-together. A menu to satisfy the entire family's appetite. There's a Renna's Pizza near you. Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and the newest location in Neptune Beach. Family, food, and football at Renna's Pizza.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Masahiro Tanaka for New York, Zach Greinke for Houston. Yankees outfielder Giancarlo Stanton out again with a quad strain. ESPN's Buster Olney.
If I were in the Yankee shoes, and I don't have access to all the medical information, but if I got that feeling that Stanton might not be available today or tomorrow, I'm at the point where I'd be like, you know what? Activating Mike Tauchman.
Buster Olney on the Baseball Tonight podcast. The Astros lead this series 2-1. The only game the Yankees won was with Tanaka on the mound. Our coverage starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. NFL Week 7 kicks off tonight at Mile High. The 2-4 Broncos hosting the 4-2 Chiefs. The Chiefs are in first place in the AFC West, but they've lost 2 games in a row. The Lakers pick up the option for next season on Kyle Kuzma. He averaged 19 points a game last season.
Coming up on Friday, it's a football Friday. Recapping Chiefs-Broncos plus the Shanahan revenge game. Putting the Rams and Ramsey and the Someone Has to Win Bowl. We'll go through it all and the latest from the MLB postseason. Friday, Golic and Wingo. 6 Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN 2.
This is Spain and Company on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.